What's up, everybody? All right, so I'm gonna look in the chat window, and if you can hear me, just give a yes. Put a yes in the chat window if you can hear me. Cool. All right, everybody's here. This is awesome. Okay, so we're probably gonna have a lot of people on this call, you guys. So that's why I have all of you muted for now. So if you can make sure that you kind of stay muted, and if you have a question, just put it in the chat window, and I'll take a look at it. The best questions to ask are ones that are short that I can read, because like I said, we're probably gonna have a lot of people on this call. More people are coming in. Yeah, sure. Maybe we could. Oh, I don't know. Probably, if you're in one of my programs, I'll be happy to talk with you privately. But if not, then um, that probably won't be able to happen. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to give everybody kind of like 5 minutes to get here. In the meantime, what I'm going to be talking about is just like how crazy the situation is. I mean, like, I'm in quarantine. I know a lot of other people are in quarantine right now. I've never seen this happen in my life. I never thought when I started this dating program that I was going to be dealing with this situation. But luckily with the skills that I've accrued, I'm well prepared for these types of things, and my students are also well prepared too. So the things that I'm going to be going over today are going to be all associated with what's going on right now, and basically how to make sure that you're still having a dating life while this is happening, making sure that you're connecting with people and you're not all alone. So the things that I'm going to be talking about today are the following. I'm going to be talking about basically why technology. This pen fucking sucks. This pen sucks. We're going to change this pen. Okay. Basically going to talk about why technology kills dating for some people. And by the way, can you guys read this? Is this okay? Okay, cool. You all can read it. Cool. Perfect. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about basically your dating profile. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is messaging. Okay. So this seminar is going to be good for a lot of people. The people that it's not going to be good for is people that are taking this time to just kind of relax. And it's fine if you want to work on yourself, that's cool. But if you're not trying to improve your dating life during this time, you want to basically focus on other things, that's fine. But I'm not sure if this is going to be the right thing for you. However, if you are looking to improve yourself during this period of time, still have a dating life, whether you're talking to girls right now that you want to keep them interested, or you don't have any options right now and you want to meet girls and be able to date them while you're here and even be able to get some of them to come over. Now, obviously, if you're around older folks, if you're around people that you feel like are going to be at risk, don't meet up with anybody. Okay, do the other things, maybe keep in contact with them, and then when this ends, go meet them in person. But if you are available, if you are by yourself and you're the only person you're putting at risk and everyone's going to be fine, then it's totally fine to meet up. In fact, a couple of my students have already met up with girls last week. I'm about to meet up with a girl this weekend. Again, I'm not putting anybody at risk. We already checked that before I started to organize this. But she reached out to me, and she was actually the one that wanted to reach out. She was the one who wanted to meet up. I've actually had that with 2 girls happening right now. So you can still have a dating life. It's very, very possible. Just make sure that you're being safe. Make sure that you're not contaminating anybody else, and make sure that we can keep this virus, this pandemic, to a minimum. Okay. All right. Cool. So that's who this is for. So if you feel like this is for you, give me a yes. All right. Cool. Awesome, dude. All right, I'll try and bring my camera down a little bit for you guys. Cool. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to be talking about is kind of why this is important, okay? So for a lot of my students, I've noticed that, or at least for me, I got very, very good at talking with people in person. But when it came time to use technology, I was all like, I didn't know what to do. It was very confusing for me, and I felt like I couldn't be myself in there. So that's really a big reason about why technology kills dating for a lot of you guys, is because the person that you are in real life doesn't really translate well to the phone. And if you could learn to be yourself, if you could learn to just relax and be that cool, charismatic, fun guy, then you could probably get that girl a lot easier. Now, for me, when I was going out, if I would get the number of like a really hot girl, or maybe I would match with somebody really pretty on Tinder or someone that I really liked, I would start to get really, really nervous. Now, once I started to get nervous, basically your body turns into fight or flight. Okay, your body gets stressed. You start releasing this chemical called cortisol. Now, once you start releasing cortisol, basically you can't think of fun things to do. Like, you can't be silly, you can't be relaxed, you can't make those fun, cool jokes that a lot of people laugh at that are really good for flirting. You just can't do any of that because your body is literally in fight or flight. I mean, if you've ever been in that scenario where you've been really nervous, maybe if you've been in a dangerous scenario, try making a joke then. Okay, it's not very it's not very easy to do that. Okay, so what you need to start doing is learn to be able to relax when you're texting. Now, one thing that I've noticed that a lot of guys do is they come in with the mindset that when they're messaging a girl, maybe they'll send them a text message or something like that, and they'll send it, and immediately they're already hoping that the girl is going to send a message back. So rather than saying something that's fun, natural, and builds more of a connection, they're saying something to try and get a response back because they want that dopamine to hit once they get that text message. Okay, so you're gonna stress yourself out thinking about things like that. The way I would recommend to think about it instead would be just you're trying to have fun. Okay, this is a perfect time, you guys, to be more curious as opposed to judgmental to other people, but especially to yourself. For me, when I was text messaging girls, I was always thinking about what's the cool thing to send, what's going to make the thing, and I wasn't able to be myself during these situations. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips or mindset shifts that I think are going to help out with this. Now, we got a lot of material to get through, you guys, so I'm going to try and go through this pretty fast, and so we can get to the dating profile stuff. Yeah, and hopefully that will be there. And by the way, you guys, this free webinar is 100% free, and if you just want to sign on and learn a few things, that's great. But I am going to be pitching my quarantine dating quarantine dating program at the end of this, which is basically designed for guys that are looking for a little bit more personal help in these areas. So if that interests you, you want some more personal help with this, I recommend that you stay to the end. I'm going to be posting links about that in a little bit. So basically, yeah, if you just want to stay for information, it's totally fine, but I am going to pitch at the end. And if that's okay, just give me a yes. Okay, cool. Awesome, guys. All right. So some tips. Let's talk about that. Okay. Be curious. Over judgmental. Be curious over judgmental. If you guys are judging yourself when you send a text message, you're like, oh, that was stupid, like you're going to get stressed out. And as much as you try and hide, this will lead to neediness. Actually, if you do this right, it'll lead to non-neediness. And what I found with me in my own life and all of my students is that no matter how hard you try and weed out neediness, if you're coming in with this mentality where, oh, I need to get this message back, if you're stressed, it will always bleed through. So it becomes imperative that you guys learn how to just relax and just have fun. Like, this is the perfect time. Like, I'm trying out a bunch of new things. I'm trying out a bunch of new apps, a bunch of ways to message girls, what works and what doesn't work. Treat this as more of an experiment, not so much as a test or a judgment on yourself. Okay, because this is your digital profile. This isn't so much you guys. You haven't learned how to be yourself on there yet, but you will. Okay. Always keep it positive. Always keep it positive. As soon as you start to get negative, as soon as you start saying, hey, where'd you go? Hey, I would appreciate a response. hello, question mark, question mark, question mark. All of that stuff is never going to work. Okay. As soon as you start delving into that, if she's not responding, she's not responding. It's fine. Don't send a text message looking to get a response back, but send a text message that will be fun for yourself, and then see if it works. And then basically you're going to try and figure out the types of things and the ways you're expressing yourself work and what don't work. So it takes a little bit of trial and error, but if you start from that point, I believe that your results are going to spike up a lot. I have tons of fun when I'm messaging girls. Basically, I'm just thinking about, hey, this is kind of funny to send. I'm just making quarantine and coronavirus jokes to everybody, and I'm seeing which jokes work and which ones don't. Okay. Basically, when I'm doing this, I'm not thinking about, oh, is this girl going to message me back? Am I going to get that text message? I don't even care if she responds. But usually, once I've adopted this mentality, they always do. And if they don't, I don't even notice. I'm getting a lot more of the results with less than half of the effort. Okay. Okay, if you can't hear anything, you guys, there is a button in the bottom left corner. Click on turn on audio, and then it says connected device. So it should be in the bottom left-hand corner. Click that, and if you can hear stuff, then you've done it right. But if you can't, you probably have to configure your audio settings in the bottom left-hand corner. All right, you guys. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be talking for at least another hour about educational material, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So occasionally I'll be able to read a question or two in the chat window, but mostly the questions are going to be, a lot of the questions are going to be tabled for the end, okay? All right, so let's talk a little bit about how to have fun. Now, if you've been messaging a girl for a little bit, this is for girls that you're already talking to. If you don't have any options right now, stay, because we're going to talk about how to get some of those options in a little bit. All right, so here's some fun things that you can do when you're in quarantine. So I'm going to give you some quarantine date ideas, basically. These are some that I've used. These are some my students have used. Okay. First one, some of you might like this, games. Number one is games. You can play a lot of different games when it comes to FaceTime, when it comes to social media. There's a lot of things that you can play. One of the ones that I used to do when I was going out a lot is I used to bring girls back to my place and we'd play Mario Kart and then have sex. Like, this worked a lot more than you would think, man. Like, women like playing games, and sometimes even if they don't like playing games, like, they're just gonna do something so you have something to do with each other, okay? And if you can teach her how to play a game, that's even better. So yeah, sure, you can get her to play Mario Kart with you. That's awesome. There's another game that you can play too, that I was doing with this girl that I was FaceTiming with last night, and it's basically a game where you draw what you think the other person represents, or you draw what you think they look like, and then you show it to each other, and then you both talk shit about the picture you just drew. Like, it was really, really fun. Okay, so think of fun games that you can play. Okay, in my quarantine dating program, basically we're going to go over a list of games that you can play, a bunch of fun things for you guys to do. So I'll go a little bit more in depth on some of these in that program. Okay, all right. The next thing, number 2, phone/video chats. Okay, so this is basically where, you start FaceTiming her, and then, you can maybe have a drink together. People are doing Zoom happy hours now. That's pretty fun. You can also basically sit down and have, like, if you cook yourself a meal, you can both sit down and eat dinner at the same time and have a little dinner date. That's cute. I've done that before. I would recommend that if you first do these, make sure they're short. Okay. Basically, sorry, I'm trying to read what you guys are saying. All right, cool. And by the way, this webinar is going to be recorded, but you won't be able to ask me questions on it, obviously, if you're watching this not live. Okay, so basically what I would do for these is keep them short. If the first time you're video chatting, don't let it linger for like an hour or something like that. I think 15 to 20 minutes is a great first FaceTime date. And then after that, you can work it up from there. Okay, but I would end on a great note. Okay, 3. You can do virtual tours. This is fun. So I like to give tours of my place, the place that I'm hanging out with, kind of the stuff that I'm doing. But you can also do a virtual tour online. I saw Google Maps. You can do a virtual tour together and pretend like you're walking through a city. Okay, it sounds silly, but it's actually pretty fun. Number 4, go to the virtual movies. In Netflix, there is an option to watch a show, a movie, a film at the same time as somebody else. Basically, all you have to do is link your accounts. It's super easy to do. And now you just have a day at the movies, and you're doing it from the comfort of your own home. Okay, I love it. I think it's great. And you can also be FaceTiming them, sending them messages, sending them funny things while the movie's going. They're going to be watching TV anyway. You might as well watch it with somebody else. Okay, and then the final thing is take classes together. Okay, there are fun tutorials online that you guys can do together, like painting, all that stuff. So all of these things are a fun thing to do to learn together. And if you can teach her something too, like one of the girls that I'm talking to who wants to meet up, she wants to teach me some yoga. Okay, so we can teach her some yoga, and I'm teaching this other girl. And in return, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach her how to meditate and breathing exercises and all that stuff. So we're going to do that together. That's a fun thing. If you're teaching a girl something, that is a very, very attractive position to be in, you guys. Okay, cool. So those are some date ideas. All right, so this is if you've been talking to a girl already. This is how to keep her interested. This is how to take it to that next level. Okay, but what if you don't have any options right now? How do you meet women? How do you get them attracted to you? How do you get them on a date, virtual date, and then possibly meet up with them in person? This is how you do it. Okay, so obviously we're going to be talking a lot about online dating right now. Okay. Hold on, let me bring something up really quick, you guys. Okay, cool. Yeah, make sure everybody, if you're watching this, make sure that you're muted. You should all be automatically muted once you come in. I'm just copying and pasting a link right now that I can send you guys if you are interested in the quarantine dating program.
Hello?
Hey, could you, if you're coming in, can you mute yourself? Okay, so let me bring up some of my notes really quick, you guys. I apologize. Okay, all right, got it. We are here. Everybody give me a yes who's still around. Cool, perfect. All right, let's get going. Your dating profile. Okay. So the first thing about online dating, you guys, and by the way, I'm a guy who's hated online dating. Okay. I've done everything I can to try and get away from it. However, given the current circumstances, I can no longer basically be ignoring this fact. Okay? And I've actually been very, very successful in online dating in the last couple of years. I haven't really talked about it a lot on my channel because I've been more encouraging guys to go out and talk to people in person. But there are a lot of things that that I can teach you guys. I mean, basically, if I go into a new city, I can get a girl to come over pretty easily from doing all of this stuff. Okay, and a lot of my students are having a lot of success in online dating. Okay, I had one guy who's actually seeing a girl this week, probably going to be his girlfriend if I'm going to be totally honest. I have another guy who met a girl. This, by the way, they all met these women when the pandemic was happening, while during quarantine. Okay, another guy who met a girl, matched with her during the quarantine. They met up. had sex. People are still doing this sort of stuff. Now, again, neither of them were around elder folks, so nobody was at risk, but they were still able to have a good time. It is very, very possible people are still doing it in today's day and age. So how do you do it? Okay. Well, in your dating profile, basically you have to pick what works for you. And the thing to think about online dating is don't think of it as like, hey, I put some pictures up and I got no matches, and that's just how it is. I'm ugly. I can't get matches. That is not true. Because when I first started online dating, I am not joking, you guys. I put up my best pictures that I had. I put up pictures where I was traveling. I put up pictures with my shirt off, or I thought I looked good because I'm in shape or whatever. No matches. I would swipe 100 times, and I would get maybe like 3 to 4 matches. And one of those girls would be a hooker, one of them would be a bot, and the other one would be a freaking like cam model trying to get me to pay for her fucking shit or whatever. Oh, and then the last girl would probably be a girl that I thought was hot, but then I actually looked at her profile and I'm like, she is not. So I'm starting from a place where I was getting literally nothing from online dating. And right now I'm talking to around 10 girls who I've all matched with in the space of last week. And I probably could be talking to 20 of them. Okay, if I was actually checking my phone a lot more, because I'm doing a lot of work for this. Okay, so and like I said, two of them have said, hey, let's meet up this weekend. So I went from someone who was getting literally fucking nothing to a bunch of matches right now, more matches than I know what to do with. And these are some of the principles that I'm going to teach you about why I'm successful right now. The first thing is to pick the right app. Okay. I'm trying to read what you guys are. Okay. Basically, we're going to talk a little bit about the app to pick. Okay. So the dating app you pick matters. Not all dating apps are the same. There's small differences that make a difference. So we got the traditional ones. We got Tinder, Bumble. Those are the two big ones, and then you can get maybe Hinge as well too. These are more in the hookup category. So if you're looking for girls that are trying to hook up, you're probably going to get here. Hinge actually is pretty good for relationships too. But if you're looking for something more serious, basically what you want to go to like Match, eHarmony, and then you also want to go with Coffee Meets Bagel too. That's a good one. Okay. So this is you got to think about the kind of girl that you're looking for and where she's going to be. What kind of girls do you like? There's probably going to be an app for them. If you're looking for a Jewish girl, there's an app for Jews you want to date each other. If you're looking for someone who's a little bit more of maybe into their spirituality and that sort of stuff, you can go to the app Meet Mindful. I'm actually on Meet Mindful because I'm kind of into those girls. Well, I'm also into I'm into all types of girls, honestly. But the main reason why I'm into Meet Mindful is because I have a beard and a man bun, and I've been to a lot of like these hippie festivals. So I do really well with those kinds of girls. So when I put my profile up there, no surprise, I got a shitload of matches. So you have to find where you're going to be the best, because I've tried to make things work, or try to make myself into something that I'm not by playing the game in a certain app. So peruse the app store. If you are looking for a certain kind of girl, there's probably an app out there for you. Also, too, what you want to do is you want to adopt an app as soon as it comes out. Adopt them really, really quickly. The reason why is because women adopt apps a lot faster than men do. Basically, women like online dating a lot. Like a lot of them are on. Okay, I've seen some stats out there that say there's way more men on dating apps than there are women. That's not true at all. Okay, it's around 50-50. But women adopt them a lot faster than men do. So, for instance, Facebook dating. Do you guys know about Facebook dating? Give me a yes if you've heard about Facebook dating. Give me a no if you haven't. No, 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 yes, no. Okay, check out Facebook dating. Basically, go to the Facebook app, and then there's an option that says dating. If you go into dating, then you can easily create a profile, and you're already going to be getting matches with them. So go into the Facebook app. You can get Facebook dating. Facebook dating is something new. A lot of people don't know about it, but a lot of women know about it. It's not as good as it used to be, but if you started doing Facebook dating when it first came out, like a little while ago, oh my God, like all my students were getting matches off of it. It was insane. Like it was too easy, basically. So if you can adopt an app very quickly, you're going to be a lot more successful because there's a lot less competition there. I don't know if Facebook dating doesn't exist in Europe yet. I know it exists in the United States. You can check to see if it exists in your country by trying to use the app. I mean, you probably already have the Facebook app on your phone, so just delve in there and see if you can get it. Okay. So think about what kind of dating app you want to use and start there. Now, let's talk about the most important thing when it comes to online dating. Your pictures. This is the most important thing. So a lot of guys, when they start doing online dating, what they do is they log on and they put up their pictures. They don't get a lot of matches, and then they give up because they think they're ugly. That's what first happened to me. No, you can improve your pictures. You can get better at them. I have had students who don't really look that good in real life. Maybe they don't work out, they don't take care of themselves that well, but they're photographers and they get tons of matches on online dating. I have a photographer friend of mine who's maybe like slightly better looking than me, and I'm not joking, he will match with 50% of the girls that he swipes right on. And he does this in San Francisco, which is like unheard of, you know. And it's because now you could probably use my help in converting a lot of those matches that he's getting because his conversion rate's fucking abysmal. But because he's a photographer, because he knows how to take good pictures, he's able to get a lot of matches. Now, I've learned slowly but surely how to take good pictures, but it's taken practice. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to have a good picture. So what kinds of pictures do you want to have? Well, the first picture that you want, your first picture on your dating profile. This should be, oh, by the way, you guys, you're gonna fucking steal with this webinar, man. I usually charge a lot of money for this. Okay, the first picture should be your best picture. This should be like a headshot. This should be like, they should be able to see you clearly and be able to tell if they like you or not, okay? I would put it maybe from here upwards. The better they can see your face, the better. Okay, so I would put your best picture first, and if you can get a good headshot in there, get a good headshot in there. Your second pick is your second best pick. Then maybe show a little bit of your body. Okay, if you have a great body, you can take your shirt off, but make sure that if you're taking your shirt off, you're at the beach or you're in somewhere where it's like reasonable. Okay, it looks like it's natural in the environment. If you're just taking a selfie in front of the mirror, that is a fucking terrible picture. No selfies. All right. Okay. So, and then by the way, I'm actually going to show you an example about what a good pic looks like in this, and like what a pic that doesn't look good. Okay, your third pick. This should be some kind of activity. All right, so I have a picture of me choking somebody out in jiu-jitsu. That's an awesome pic. I'll put that one in there, okay? Fourth pick. This should be a social pic, just letting her know you have a few friends. Okay, and then your fifth one, the last one. This should be your third most attractive picture. So you want to start good, and then you kind of want to end good. It doesn't have to be as good as this pick, but it should end on a decent note. All right. So if you have 5 picks, that's good. If you have more good picks is better. But if you have like 5 good picks and then one that sucks, take out that one that's not good. Like you're basically Like women will, if even if they like a bunch of if all your pictures look good and there's one bad one, I find that the one bad one can fuck everything up. Okay, so I would go for less pics if you feel like some of your pictures aren't that strong. Okay, but play around with it. You know, figure out what works. Swipe for a couple days with a certain scenario, and then if you don't get any matches, then try more pictures. Don't judge yourself, guys. Okay, if you're not getting matches, it's okay. Like I said, dude, I would swipe 100 times and then I would get 0 matches or 0 real matches. I heard before. Now when I do that, I get a ton. Okay, I improved over time, and so can you. All right. So let's go over an example picture of one that's good and one that's not good. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Give me a second. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. All right, so you guys see this picture? Let me know if you can see this this picture. Where's the fucking chat window? Sorry guys, I'm technology illiterate, even though I'm talking about how to use technology right now. Okay, cool. You guys can see the pictures. Perfect. All right, so you see the picture on the left, all right, and the picture on the right. The picture on the right, that guy's probably getting laid. Picture on the left, that guy's not getting laid. All right. So what's the difference between these two pictures? You know what the difference is? 6 hours. Okay. I took the picture on the right while I was at this festival called Envision Festival. And then when I got back, I just took a little selfie in the mirror. Okay. Now I had eaten a little bit of food. I was a little bit tired, but overall, I'm the same guy, man. I'm the same guy. So what's the difference between the two? Okay, well, in the first one, you can see, hopefully you can see my cursor, is the lighting. Dude, the lighting accentuates my muscles. The lighting does all of that stuff, okay? I'm a really fucking skinny guy. I'm 55 pounds. I'm 6 feet tall. I am not a big dude. I do not have a whole lot of size, okay? So what I've noticed is that if I stand to the side, kind of like this, I tend to look a little bit bigger. But if I stand straight on like this, not so much. So that's one thing that I've learned about myself. The other thing is the lighting. The lighting really accentuates everything. You want light to be coming down and on you. You don't want light to be in the distance. Okay, so if you can see there's more light in the background than there is reflecting off my body. That does not accentuate. You want to be the center of attention when you're taking a picture. And the other thing too is take a lot of pictures. This picture on the left, I took one time while I was bored. The picture on the right, we took 30 to 40 pictures and we picked the best one from them. And at Envision, I probably took close to 200 photos in total, and I posted 3 of them, okay? And one of those photos became the main photo of the festival, meaning if you typed in hashtag Envision Festival, it was the first photo to pop up. It was such a good picture that I had girls hitting me up all through the next week because they saw the picture, they liked it. They were sending me messages on Instagram saying, hey, are you still in Costa Rica? Hey, you still here? You know, would love to meet up, blah, blah, blah. Random fucking girls. It's the first time, well, not the first time, one of the new times that I've had girls sliding into my DMs pretty aggressively, okay? And the way I did it was I basically, you know, took care of the lighting, took care of all of these things. So hopefully you've seen the difference between 2 pictures, one that's good, one that you want to put on your dating profile, the other, no. Okay, and also it's a freaking selfie too, so like I would not recommend putting that in there as well. Okay, so hopefully you've seen the difference between these 2 pictures. My buddy helps out too. Like you can see there's a little bit of a social element as well too. But even if he wasn't in there, it would be a totally fine picture. So make sure that you're taking a lot of pictures. Make sure that you understand kind of your body and who you are. What I would recommend that you guys actually do, before when I was taking pictures, and I've noticed a lot of other guys, when I couldn't smile in pictures. Like my smile sucked, okay? Basically, okay, cool. You guys are, Okay, yeah. Basically, I couldn't smile in pictures. When I was taking selfies with girls, I remember a girl took a selfie with me, and then I saw she posted it later, and she edited me out. Like I was so embarrassed by it. So after that happened, I basically took a selfie in the mirror. Not a selfie in the mirror. I took a selfie like once every morning when I woke up, and I practiced my smile. Now my smile looks fucking great. Okay, so whenever I take a picture, it only takes me a few pictures before I get one that I really like because I practiced at it and I've gotten better. So your digital profile matters. Now, before I thought like having good pictures didn't really matter in today's day and age. The unfortunate part is that it does. Okay, and it doesn't matter so much for the girl to feel attraction to you, but what it matters is that she wants something to show her friends. Like if you're hooking up with a girl, you can bet your ass her friends are going to be asking like what you look like, and they're going to be asking for pictures. You want to be able to give her something good. Just have a few really really good ones at least, so she can show her friends, and her friends can like smile and nod, and she doesn't look bad. If she's constantly hiding you and be like, "Oh, he looks better in real life," having to justify it, that's one thing that you're that's that's going to be I guess minus points for you. Okay, it sucks. I understand that a lot of people don't like that this is what what we're dealing with right now. But I mean, honestly, too, when you get a girl, do you show your picture? Do you show her picture to other people? Wouldn't it be nice to have a nice picture of her? I mean, same thing too. Okay, women think the same way, and more for them, women think about like kind of what their friends are going to think more than guys do. Like they want to be around a guy that their friends are like, damn man, she's with that guy, like he's super like confident, important, or good looking guy. Okay, you want to be that guy. Now again, you don't have to be good looking to take good pictures. I've coached tons of students who are not good looking, but if they take good pictures, they look really good in them. The girls end up still being into them. Okay, so taking pictures is a skill like anything else. The more you practice it, the better you get. Okay, so let's talk. We've talked about the pictures. You know what pictures to put on there. And again, this is something that I'm going to be going over in my quarantine dating program. So it's a month-long program, and basically we're going to be covering like what your pictures are, what they, which ones work, which ones don't work. So if you want to get access to that, stay to the end. I'm going to give you a link to click on, and we'll talk more about that. Okay, so I'm going to be personally coaching you guys through your profiles, through your messaging, telling you what works, what doesn't work. And my goal is if you're not getting matches right now and you join the program, you're going to be getting matches every single day at the end of the month. Okay, cool. So let's erase this and talk about the next part of the dating profile. All right, the next part of the dating profile is going to be the bio. Okay, what are you writing? The bio is basically, holy cow, can we get in focus, camera? Hello? There we go. Okay, the bio is basically douchebag filtering. Okay, so you have a lot of great pictures. A lot of women assume that you're going to be a douchebag if you have really good pictures. It's just how women work. So the bio is to get them, build up a little bit of connection and comfort with them. Okay, what you want to do with the bio is the first thing, and it should be funny. Okay. This is your first line. Your bio should be first line should be funny. An example of a funny line that I used to use is I would write expert chef as long as you like burnt toast, or don't mean to brag, but my mom thinks I'm hilarious. Another one that I used to write was don't read this next sentence, and then underneath that I wrote you little rebel, I like you already. Okay, so just silly things like that to kind of get the ball rolling, get her to laugh, get her to chuckle for a little bit. Remember, if you can get a girl to laugh, she's probably gonna sleep with you. As long as attraction plus laughter equals sex. Okay. So basically, you want to start out with something that's funny. Now, the next thing that you want to do is kind of write what kind of girl you're looking for. Okay. So what kind of girl you're looking for. Now, if you are in, let's say you're looking for, a fun, adventurous kind of girl who's trying to hook up. Okay. One thing that I wrote for my profile was I was looking for an adventurous girl with an affectionate soul, or looking for an adventure child with an affectionate soul. That's what I had in my profile. Okay. It's pretty general, pretty positive. And that describes a lot of different people, but it lets them know that I'm looking for somebody adventurous. Okay. I don't put a whole lot of information about myself during this. Okay. I'm going to read this question really quick. Is it good to have pictures of you and other girls in your profile? No, it's not. Okay. That's Instagram game. Okay. If you want to have pictures on Instagram with you and girls, then get them. That actually works. And it has to be tasteful. So if you notice the way Dan Bilzerian has it, he's just kind of doing his own thing and the girls are around. That's like the perfect picture to have. But if you're like, clearly you found some showgirls at a concert and you paid them to take pictures with you, that's not a good picture to have. Okay. But that's more for Instagram. For Tinder, I would not have pictures of you and girls on there. Because it makes you more attractive, but it makes you look like more of a douchebag. So don't do that. Okay. What kind of girl you were looking for, and then end with funny too. I don't put a whole lot of information about myself, and the reason why I do that is because they don't it opens up a can of worms. For instance, if you said, I'm really into physical fitness, or I really I work out every single day or something like that. She, in her head, if she's, a lot of girls will think, they want to think of problems. They're just gonna think, oh, he's too in shape. He's gonna try and get me to work out every day, So they're always looking for excuses to swipe left. Don't give them any, okay? If you don't give them a whole lot of information, but you look for what you're looking for, basically it's gonna it's gonna get them to play more into your frame as opposed to you trying to appease them. Okay, so I put very little information about myself. The only thing I will put down is my nationality, and if you're tall, I would put your height as well too. All right, so start with funny, end with funny, and if you want to kind of, if you're looking for girls that are trying to hook up, you got to be careful about this. Like, don't say, hey, I'm looking to just fuck. Okay, don't ever say that. Or don't make explicit sexual jokes on Tinder. Okay, that actually doesn't work that well. Okay, women like implicit humor as opposed to explicit humor. So if you're looking for girls that are just trying to hook up, what you should do is say something like, I had a guy who had at the end of his profile, it would be, I'll only boss you around if you're naked. Okay, that's not explicitly sexual, but it is sexual implicitly, meaning you're naked and you're bossing around. Probably a sexual scenario, but it's not like, hey, I want to fuck you. Okay, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more clever. Another line you can also use too is swipe right if you think you have a cute bum. Swipe right if you think you have a cute bum or butt or something like that. Don't be like, hey girl, if you got a great ass, fucking swipe right. No girl's gonna want to swipe right for that. Or maybe some of them will, but probably not going to be girls that you're into. Okay, so I would use one of those lines is fun. If you have a pen and paper, you can write some of those down. Feel free to steal all the lines that I'm saying, you guys. I don't really give a shit. It's not going to affect me. And above all, keep it positive. Keep it positive, you guys. If you start saying negative, you ever seen those profiles that girls have where they're like, not trying to fuck. If you just want a piece of ass, swipe left. If you want this, swipe left. If you're not down for something serious, swipe left. If you don't believe in God or Jesus, swipe left. How appealing do those girls sound to you? you're like, holy cow, this girl sounds like a real friendly, pleasant person. No, okay. Don't say anything negative, okay? I would eliminate all negativity from your bio. It can only do you harm. The girls that would have swiped right when you had negative shit in your bio would have swiped right even if you have positive shit. But there's a lot of girls that won't have swiped right, that will see the negativity and just immediately be turned off and will swipe left. Okay, so just keep it positive. There's no reason to include negativity in there. Okay. All right. So that's your bio. So start with something funny, end with something funny, kind of talk about what you're looking for. That's my format for it. But you know, again, in my quarantine dating program, we'll probably come up with a bio for each one of you guys that works, that kind of fits your personality, that you can roll with, and give them something to talk about. Like if a girl wants to start a conversation with you, give her something easy. You know, tell me about your favorite place that you traveled. Tell me what you like to do for fun. You know, if you could be trapped with anyone, you know, you could use those questions. I don't like those questions quite as much, but again, it invites a conversation. It makes it easy for a girl to hit you up. All right, let me see. Okay, Simon, you in all caps, you've written it 3 times. All right, no, don't do that. If you're leaving girls on red to seem more high value or whatever, or to seem cooler, you're in the wrong area. Like that's coming from a needy position, and it doesn't work. All right, so let's talk about the last thing. This is the last section, messaging. It's a long section though, so we'll probably hit the hour with this, maybe even past it, and then we'll open it up for questions. Okay. Again, this is something that we're going to work on a lot in the quarantine dating program. Okay, how to express yourself, how to message, how to talk with women over technology. This is a skill like anything else. When you first were born, when you first learned to start talking, you didn't know how to talk. You didn't know how to express yourself with your voice. But now that you've learned to do that over the years, basically, you've learned how to do that. You learn how to express yourself with your voice. But you couldn't do that before. The same thing with technology. A lot of you guys, and this is because it's relatively new, we're kind of still figuring out the rules and everything. But if you have me at your side, I'll tell you what the rules are and what you're supposed to do and what not to do. So let's get into some of those right now. But again, this is not something that is like, oh, I just don't like messaging. Maybe you know messaging in a certain way and you're not able to communicate that side of your personality. But as soon as you learn that, I think messaging can be very, very fun. And it's not just going to be important for you with a girl that you're trying to date, a girl that you're trying to sleep with, but it's also going to be important with your family, like your friends. You know, we're all in quarantine right now, you guys. And if you can't learn to express yourself with technology, with the communication devices that we have, a lot of those relationships are going to suffer. Okay. You know, if you've ever been texting a girl who legitimately is horrible at texting, it makes your life harder and it makes her life harder too. Okay. So don't be that person that is, oh, I don't like texting. I don't like that. It's fine. I don't like texting very much as well too, but I know how to express myself over there. And because of that, I've learned to enjoy the process and have a lot more fun with it. Okay. All right. So let's talk about messaging here. So let's say you match with a girl on Tinder, you match with a girl on your dating app. What should your opening line be? Okay. There's no shortage of coronavirus jokes out there, you guys. I mean, I just messaged this girl I messaged like 3 girls the other day. All of them responded with, you know, they were laughing and we're still talking to this day. Basically, I opened with, hey, Kelly, or hey, whatever her name is, how you holding up with the quarantine? And then underneath that I wrote, I think I just had a full-on conversation with my lamp last night. And then I put like some fucking emoji or something like that. Okay. All of them said LOL, or super, thought it was hilarious. That's a funny opener. Okay, you can steal that too. Now, generally what I would do though is I would, okay, I'm not going to answer that question anymore, man. We can talk about that at the end. All right. So basically, what you want to do is you want to open with something fun, something funny. I know a lot of guys want to get serious pretty quick, but that's not the time to do it. Getting serious later is fine once you've built up attraction. But the first thing that you want to do is just playfully banter and tease her, like just flirt. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll like look at their profile a little bit, and if I see something that's like kind of intriguing or interesting, or maybe I'll make a playful assumption about them, that's flirting as well too. That works. So one line that I texted a girl the other day was, I was like, well, from the looks of your profile, you seem like a hardworking medical doctor who's a sucker for traveling, who's a sucker for travels, something like that. And then underneath that, she was like, wow, you're right on, and blah, blah, blah. And then we started talking, and that's one of the girls that I'm actually going to be meeting up with. Okay? I started with that line. I try to be a little bit more thoughtful than just saying the hey, hey. But if you really can't think of anything, you guys, just make a coronavirus joke, a quarantine joke, or something in there. Or literally just be like, hey, how's your week going? Do not spend more than 5 minutes thinking of your opening line. In fact, 5 minutes is way too fucking long. Don't spend more than 2 minutes. Okay? If you spent more than 2 minutes thinking about your opening line, you spent too long and you're already putting her on a pedestal. Okay? There's no reason to give this person who you've never met, who you don't even know what they look like for real, that much attention. Spend 2 minutes at the most. And whatever you think of in that period of time, just fucking send. Okay? All right. So opening line. Fun plus thoughtful. Okay. So look at her profile. Like make some playful assumptions about her or something like that. Okay. But it should be fun and thoughtful. Okay. Thoughtful is one that we could probably go for fun first and then thoughtful second. Okay. That's a good opening line. Now, what do you do after that? You just want to spend 5 to 7 lines at least bantering. You can tease her about her profile. You can make fun of the silly things that you've done to stay busy during the coronavirus while you're in quarantine. Basically, you just want to play and have fun. This is playing. This should be enjoyable. This should be like I'm excited and like I giggle to myself before I send my funny lines that I'm about to send. I'm not interested in is this the correct line to demonstrate higher value? No, I'm just thinking about this is kind of funny. I'm gonna send this. Okay. That's more of the kind of stuff that I'm thinking. Now, obviously, you might want to taper it down a little bit. So whatever sexual, super inappropriate humor that you think is good, take it down a notch and say that, Okay, perfect. So 5 to 7 lines of bantering. Now, once you've been bantering for a little bit, then what usually happens? If you guys have been talking to me, you know that a lot of these conversations peter out. They kind of fizzle out. They start really great, and then within like a few hours, maybe even a few days, okay, you just start talking. They stop responding. It kind of like fades out. Type yes if that's happened to you. Cool. All right, yeah, that's a lot of guys. Okay, so that shit used to happen to me all the time. And it used to happen to a lot of my students. In fact, that's the #1 complaint that I get besides not getting enough matches with online dating is the conversation just fizzles out and I can't keep it going. I can't keep her interested. Okay, how do you keep her interested? How do you get her on a FaceTime call? How do you be able to meet her up in person? Because that's the fucking hardest thing. Okay, the biggest deterrent to getting her on the phone for like a FaceTime meeting, which is going to be the next step for you guys, by the way. Like the FaceTime meeting is the next step. The biggest deterrent is fear. Okay, what makes a girl feel fearful? Women are more risk adverse than men are. Men are risk takers. That's why we usually are the ones to initiate. That's why we usually have to push things forward. Women are risk adverse. They're going to try and like not make a bad decision as opposed to trying out and seeing what happens. Okay, so when you're in this position, the biggest thing that you have to work with is her fear. And the way you eliminate the fear is you build a connection with her. You build comfort with her, okay? Once she feels connected to you, once she feels comfortable with you, a lot of that fear is going to go away and she's going to want to meet up with you. That's why so many of these girls have said, hey, let's meet up to me. I never used to get that over Tinder. I would get a girl who maybe said that and would ghost me. But now I'm getting it. I'm actually meeting up with girls, and this is not a recent thing. It's just been happening for a while. Okay. But before, like I said, I wasn't getting any matches. Okay. So the way you want to do it is build a connection. So how do you build a connection? The way you build a connection. Okay. There are 3 steps to building a connection. What do you guys think they are? Type what you think the first one is in the chat window. Attraction, yeah. Intention, being honest, humor, make her invest, rapport. So that's good. I like some of these. Relatability was the closest one. Commonalities, there we go. Commonalities and relatability, that's the closest one. Okay, so the first one is actually familiarity. The first one is familiarity. Okay, she just gets used to you. Have you ever seen a girl who's like super attractive dating some dude and you're like, how is she with that person? This guy is not confident, he's not good looking, he's not anything, he doesn't even have any ambition or anything like that. Okay, she started dating him because she got really, really familiar with him. Okay, that's how it works. She's just around him a lot. Familiarity breeds connection. So if you've tried to ask a girl out and she's not down, maybe she talks to you for a little bit more and it might happen in the future. Okay. Now I generally think that if you've asked too early, that try and ask at the right time. Try and make sure you built up a lot of connection before you ask, because then it's a little bit harder to pick it back up, but it's not impossible. Okay. So let her get familiar with you. Don't a lot of guys who don't know what they're doing on Tinder that start giving advice, they just say like, hey, want to go out sometime? And it's the first message. Okay. If you have like 100 matches and you're just trying to filter through and see who's going to show up, that might work. But seeing as most of the people on this call probably don't have that, you're wasting so many opportunities doing that. So build up a little bit of familiarity with her, banter with her for a little bit, and then talk with her. Okay. After that, she's probably a lot more likely to meet up with you. Okay. So what are the ways that you want to build up familiarity? Okay. Well, just messaging her is fine. Just keeping her, and then maybe you might want to send her a picture of yourself. Okay. It makes it seem more familiar because, like, let's say I'm texting this girl and I'm sitting on the couch eating Doritos, watching a show. Guess what she's probably doing? The exact same fucking thing. Okay. So I'll text her something. I'll be like, hey, you'll never guess what I'm doing right now. She's like, what? And I'm like, it's the craziest thing. You'll never guess. She's like, oh my God, tell me. And then I just take a picture, a selfie of me, like being a fat piece of shit, like just like on the couch, like watching a movie or something like that. Okay. Now, obviously, I try to make the picture look kind of good, but that breeds familiarity. And she's obviously, every time I've done this, girls have just like laughed hysterically. They're like, that's hilarious, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But it breeds familiarity. Okay. She's becoming more familiar with me, my appearance, being in the same situation, because she's probably there. Okay. And that leads me to my number 2, which is commonalities or bonding. Typically, people bond on shared interests, activities, and a circumstance too. Okay, maybe you grew up in the same area. Maybe you guys like the same kind of music. Maybe you guys both are into physical fitness. All of those things are good. So the way I connect with somebody on someone that we don't have a whole lot of things in common are basically, if she says, oh, I'm super into scuba diving. Now, I've actually been scuba diving, but let's say that I haven't. I'll be like, oh, that's so cool. I've always wanted to go scuba diving. I know a guy who went scuba diving last week. Okay, that's a commonality. Now, if I've been scuba diving, I can talk about that too. But let's say I haven't been scuba diving, and on top of that, I don't even know anyone who's scuba dived as well. Well, if that happens, I could say, wow, I don't know anything about scuba diving. Tell me more about it. Okay, then you can connect on the fact that she's teaching you about something. Now you have shared knowledge about a certain thing. Okay, commonalities as well, bonding. All right, typically people will bond with others with shared interests and stuff like that. But if you don't have those, two of those methods will work. If you know somebody who's also done it, or if you don't know anything about it, just say, hey, I don't know anything about that. I would love to know more about it. Okay, that works too. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of you guys are telling personal stories in there too. Personal stories work. I would start with this first and then go into some personal stories about maybe something that you guys have in common. So rather than just telling a story like out of the blue, like fuck it, I'll just tell this story because it works. Try and pick a story that you think is gonna bring more of a connection, something that you guys are gonna have maybe a shared interest or something in common, maybe it's something that she's done. Okay. All right. So number 3, the last one, and this is the most important. If you're wondering about how to make a deep connection with a girl, future plans. Okay. I love learning about this subject with women. Okay. And even if they don't have a lot of future plans, they can talk about stuff that they'd like to do. Okay. The 2 girls that have asked to meet up with me, both of them we had this talk with. Okay. I asked them a question like, well, okay, so for this bonding right here, I would ask her a question like, hey, so tell me what you like to do for fun. Okay, that's a good one. And then for this one, I would say something like, hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or like, what are your world domination plans in the next couple of years, or something like that? Or something like that. Where would you like to be? Those kinds of things where you're looking at the future together tend to work pretty well. Now, a lot of times, she won't have big plans in the future. Okay, there's a lot of women out there that are not ambitious, that don't know what they want to do, but maybe they have an idea of what they like to do, and then you can talk about that. Because love, connection, a lot of people think it's staring into each other's eyes. It's actually staring at the world with similar eyes. So you're looking at the world with somebody next to you with similar eyes. That's love. And if you can establish that, that deep connection is going to make it so much more likely that she meets up with you, because she's not having this connection with guys that she talks to on Tinder. It's not a regular thing. Okay. Most of them, she's just kind of ghosting after a few messages. But if you can hit this point, you can hit it down here, she's going to sign on a FaceTime call with you. She's probably going to meet up with you. She's probably going to sleep with you. Okay. Because you've already established that there's an attraction there. She's liked your pictures. She already thinks that you're kind of attractive in that sense. And then you've also bantered with her for a little bit too. So you kind of made her feel a little bit more turned on. Okay. Now, once you've built a strong connection, that's really what separates it. Now, a lot of people give up and say it's not possible with online dating or talking to people digitally. That's absolutely not true. You can definitely do it by asking the right questions and being curious, being fun, not being judgmental, not trying to rush things. It's absolutely possible. Okay, so stick with these 3 things. Talk about future plans, and I guarantee you that girl is going to give you. After you've had this conversation, if you haven't already, try and get her phone number after this. Okay, so say, hey, I don't like texting on this app or whatever. I don't get notifications. Hey, Lloyd, should we fake anything or be completely honest? Don't fake anything, but tell the best side of yourself. So like, if I first start talking to a girl, I'm not gonna be like, hey, I went to bed till I was 5. Like the first thing I know about. Okay, that's honest, but like, why does she need to know that? Okay, express your best side. Okay, so if you get down to this, your phone number should be the next step. Getting her phone number should be the next step. Okay, she's probably gonna give it to you, and then after that, you establish a connection. Try and get a FaceTime date going. I have a bunch of ideas that I've already given you guys, or 5 ideas. We're going to be going over more of those in the quarantine dating program. And we're also going to be talking about exactly the kinds of messages that I send when I'm establishing this connection with a girl. So I'll go over in depth your messages, my messages, what works and what doesn't work. We're going to be going over that pretty personally. Now, if you are if you're getting a girl who, after all of this, you're like, hey, I don't really like texting on this app, or I don't get notified on this app. What's your phone number, or what's your WhatsApp? And she's like, why don't we use Snapchat instead? Okay, have you ever gotten that? Say yes if you've gotten that, where she wants to go to Snapchat instead of giving the phone number. Okay, so mostly yes. Mostly yes. Yeah, chicks love the Snapchat. You know why they love the Snapchat? It's because they can ghost guys super easily on there. Okay, try not to get the Snapchat. Okay. If a girl tries to give me a Snapchat, I push back. I push back. I've only had a couple girl, but if you do this correctly, if you establish this connection before you go for it, she's probably going to give you that phone number. I don't want to be a guy who's sending her snaps where the messages are fucking disappearing. And like, I just find that it's really tough to make it work. It can work, but probably if you're able to get her out via Snapchat, you could have gotten the phone number anyway. It would have been a lot easier. Okay, so go for the phone number. If she says, "Oh, why don't we use Snapchat?" Say something like, "Oh, I don't use Snapchat." And then if she's like, "Oh, that's a shame," okay, probably it's not going to work out with this girl anyway. You saved yourself some time. Okay, if she likes you, she's not going to throw you into Snapchat and be super aggressive about that. I mean, Snapchats for hookers and strippers and girls who are trying to ditch guys. It's not for people that are legitimately trying to date. Okay. All right. Yeah, Instagram, same thing. I would Instagram's a little bit better than Snapchat because the messages don't disappear. But I've just been getting a lot of people that have been saying that Snapchat is the thing to do. So there's a game on Snapchat, and we'll go over how to game girls on Snapchat in my quarantine dating program. So yeah, if you guys want info about that, stay for a little longer. But this is basically the format, you guys. Once you've built up a connection, establish that FaceTime call, and then use some of the date ideas that I've talked about. And then from there, see if you've built up enough of a connection, see if you can get her to come over. See if you guys can go for a walk together. If you guys are not around older folks, I think it's totally fine. You're not going to expose anybody who's going to be at risk. But if you are around older folks, you are around people that are at risk, don't do it and just stick to virtual meetings. And I think that's going to be good. Okay, cool. So that concludes my presentation. It took just about an hour, which is what I wanted. So in a little bit, I'm going to be opening up for questions. Before I do that, I'm just going to be talking a little bit about my quarantine dating program, which is basically a program that covers a lot of this material, but I'm going to be going over it with you guys personally. So for 1 month, we are going to be meeting every single week. You're going to be getting assignments every single week. If you're not getting matches right now, I would expect you to be getting matches pretty much every single day by the end, provided you do all of the assignments that I give every single week. Okay, we're going to be working on your pictures. We're going to be working on your messaging. We're going to be working on yourself and who you are and the way you're expressing yourself through digital mediums. Because if you're a really insecure and anxious person, a lot of times it's going to come through. So I teach a lot of guys to be able to relax and just be able to express themselves freely. So if that sounds like it would be right for you, normally this program's priced at $1,000 a month. That's what I usually charge for programs like this every single month. But because of this is all going on, I almost never give discounts, but this time it's going to be worth $500. Okay, so $500 a month, you're going to be able to get personally coached by me. If that interests you, here's the link. Oh shit, my bad. If that interests you, then click the link that I just sent. I send it to everyone. It's paypal.me/TheSingleGuy. Send me $500 and then also send a note with your email. Even if you don't send me your email, I'll know that you've sent it to me and I'll contact you and I'll get you to join the private Facebook group. Okay, so if you send that money to me right now, I can get you in for that price and we'll get you signed up for the private Facebook group. And we're going to be meeting this week. That's why I'm looking for guys to start right now, because this program is starting very, very soon. So here's the link again. I'm just going to keep putting it up there, you guys. And then if you have any questions about it, feel free to email me or send me a message on, if you're following me on Instagram or if you're friends with me on Facebook, you can send me messages there as well too. Again, $500, just send that to me and I will make sure that you get signed up right away. And also send me a message too, saying that you paid or something like that. Even if you don't, I'll still be able to find you and contact you and we'll get you added to the private Facebook group. Okay, cool. So if anybody has any questions about that, put them in the chat window. Otherwise, I'm going to be opening it up for any questions. If you do have questions, try and make them short. If you're going to tell me a long story about you and this girl, I'm not going to be able to answer that question. There's a lot of people. There's over 100 people on this call, you guys. So I will try and answer as many as I can. Again, here's the link for anyone who wants to join that. I already have a few people in it already, so I'm looking for more people to join. So yeah. All right. Cool. So any questions, you guys? Question one, you mentioned practicing your smile in the mirror. What else do you recommend we practice regularly to get better at? Okay, so some of the things that I work on when I was first trying to better my communication skills is I would honestly just practice telling stories by myself. So I would, if I was in the car, if I was doing something, I would just practice being funny. I would pretend like there was a hot girl sitting next to me, and I would just spit whatever I had for about a minute. Okay, so I would recommend you get good at that. You can practice smiling as well too. Another thing that you want to get good at is your posture. A lot of times I'll see guys, they come in and their posture is basically okay, the posture is not good. All right, I saw somebody ask a question about how much time do you have to spare for each person for this program. Basically, on each of the calls that we have, I'm going to be taking a look at the pictures you guys send me. So I'm going to be giving you individualized feedback. You're going to be able to ask me any questions that you want, whether it's over Facebook Messenger or Facebook Messenger is the fastest way to contact me. So if you have a question about something, just send me a message on Messenger, or if like, hey, I was thinking about this picture or this bio, and I'll take a quick look at it. All right, I always give personal feedback to each of my students that are in my programs. That's one thing that I think is very important, because you can watch all the videos that you want, but I would say 99% of the people that watch my videos don't actually accomplish their goals because they don't have contextual feedback and they don't actually execute. This is helping you accomplish all of those things. Okay. I'm just going by the ones that I see. Question: how do you want? What topics interest her so that you get that connection? Just ask her what she does for fun and start from there. What do you do if you don't have many social? Jesus, I should put a share or something down here. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna bring my chair over. If you don't have a lot of activities, you can take pictures. Like, the cool thing about the program, you guys, is that I'm gonna be teaching you how to frickin' take pictures at your house. Like, we're gonna be going through it. If you have a camera, if you have a phone, a mobile phone, like, we're gonna be taking pictures in your house, and you can just go from there. Like, there's a lot that you can do with those. All right, I'm just going to go to the end. If your question wasn't answered, try and do it again. This long one, I'm not going to have time to answer it. Where do you go out to talk to girls during the day in San Francisco? So Dolores is good. Fort Mason is also really good. Take a look at your events in San Francisco, and then there's a lot of good ones that happen during the day that you can check out. There's parades, there's food truck events. There's also they have different fairs and stuff like that you can just go around, like a beer festival or something like that. So I would check your San Francisco events, just say interested on all of them, and then start going to ones and figure out the ones that work for you. Okay. I'm sure you're aware of the RSC game. You still think there's applicable in order to get the girl chasing? RSD talks about a lot of things, man. I don't know what specifically you're talking about. Do you think your advice works in countries like India, reserve girls galore? Okay, your social media profile and all that stuff is going to matter a lot more in places like India, because people are going to look at what you have before you start talking to them. In general, I would say cold approach pickup is not going to be an option for you unless you're in a very, very westernized city in India. I think I've heard we're not supposed to build connection. Okay, that's too long, man. I can't. How do you handle no contact during Corona? So some people are actually going to be down to meet up with you, but make sure you establish a firm connection with them first, and make sure that they're not going to be around people that are at risk. Holy cow, you guys, this is getting a little. What do you think about keeping the conversation with a girl you were meeting before quarantine and she had to run to her city? So exactly what I was talking about at the beginning. That's how you keep her interested. You FaceTime, you come up with fun things to do while you're FaceTiming her. We talk all about that in my quarantine dating program, which I'm going to put the link for that. If you want to join, remember, send 500 to my PayPal, and we'll get you right in there. How old am I? I'm 28 years old. Would you recommend to date multiple girls at the same time? Yes, I would. Even if you're looking for a girlfriend, dating a lot of different women, keep it manageable for you, so you're able to keep each person like their due diligence. But if you're only dating one person, I find that sometimes you're limited to figuring out what you like. And if you're just stuck with somebody and you settle with them, like I feel like that's a big reason why we have such a high divorce rate in this country. So yeah, absolutely, you can definitely date multiple women at the same time. What if she doesn't want to call it a date? That's better. Don't call it dates. Women actually don't like dates. If they hear the word date, they start getting nervous and they start not wanting to show up. Just say, hey, let's hang out, or let's go for a walk, or whatever it is. Okay. Um, he's 21. No, no, no. I said 28. Best advice for someone who doesn't drink. Okay, the way to, if you're going out and you're talking to women while you're getting drunk, while other people are getting drunk, is you want to move around a lot more. So give you some more high energy. Okay? It's all about energy. When you're drunk, your energy is more carefree, and that's why it's a great social lubricant. But for a lot of people who don't drink, getting yourself into that mode means talking to a lot of people and moving around a lot. How to pick up a girl on the dance floor. Move around, mimic, see who's kind of hanging around you. Don't try and freak and grind with them, and then take them to the bar. Okay. How do you take a girl down from the pedestal? Okay. Start by being curious. If you don't have, so I usually say, hey, if you have a lot of options, then it takes the girl off the pedestal because she's not anything significant. But if you don't have options, be okay with losing her. Be okay with being by yourself. You've been by yourself for a long time. You can be by yourself a little bit longer and you're still going to be okay. That will eliminate a lot of the needy behavior. Once you stop needing her, then you're going to actually be yourself and you're going to see a lot more success. Lloyd, do you have a big dong? No, my dong is exactly in proportion to my body. How do you reconcile with an ex during the corona? Well, get her on a FaceTime call and just ask her how she's doing and start from there. And don't make it such a really deep, dramatic talk. Okay, I find that those don't really they don't really build a lot of attraction. What they'll do is they'll kind of push her away. So have a casual conversation with them. Okay, again, you guys, if you're interested to get coached more about this, join my quarantine dating program. Send 500 to there if you want to join quarantine dating program. This is the only time that I'm going to be having this deal is today. Okay. Hold on. All right, you guys are typing a little too fast for me to keep up, but I'm going to still try and do it. Okay, so does it affect your dating life? I don't know who he's talking about. Should you end NC during Corona and no contact? Okay, yeah, with the no contact rule, let me just talk about the no contact rule, you guys. I don't like it. I don't like it for guys. It works for women. It works a lot better for women than it does for guys. If the no contact rule works for you, that means either one of two things. Either this girl just wants attention and she's just coming back just to get that attention and then you didn't solve any of the problems to begin with, or you could have messaged her and it still would have worked out. Okay. I think no contact rule is so popular because anytime people tell you not to do stuff, people love that. People love not doing anything. But in general, for guys, I don't think it works as well as it does for women. Yeah, Simon, you're addicted to freaking not texting girls. So I mean, let me know how that's going for you, man. Keep it up. What do you think of being a little bit cocky to get a girl to qualify herself? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You got to do it playfully. Playfully though, if you're playful, you can get away with anything. Lloyd, where do I see myself in 5 years? I see myself being one of the top dating coaches in definitely the man sphere. So, you know, Matthew Hussey. Matthew Hussey is the biggest dating coach in the world, but he's a dating coach for women. I want to be getting near to where he is there for men. Okay. What if a girl never asks questions about you? If she never asks questions about you, that might mean she's a little shy at the beginning. But basically, I would just tell her more about yourself first without her asking, and then start from there. And if she continues to never ask you anything, that's definitely a red flag. I know some nerdy slash weird hobbies. What do you suggest? Talk about it straight away. That's fine, dude. Nerdy slash weird hobbies are actually pretty cool. So in my programs, talk a lot about guys who basically they have a lot of nerdy habits. So they play a lot of video games, they do a lot of different stuff. That's fine, dude. As long as you can talk about things with passion, as long as you can get people excited and fun about it, like anything works. Anything works. I mean, I'm a dude who came up as a physics major who loves like the Lord of the Rings, who loves like Star Wars and like, well, not anymore, but I used to like Star Wars. I like a lot of those different nerdy subjects. And so I'm able to talk about them in a way that allows women to kind of see my personality. And they don't care what the interest is, do they just care about you. Um, Hold on. How to get a girl to text you first? Don't. You text her first. What you do if a girl has a lot of friends, how you become like high value male form, the others. Okay, you're worrying about value way too much, man. Just work on having fun with other people and bring people into the fun, and you're gonna see you're gonna be a high value person by doing that. Okay. What if she doesn't want to meet up till 1st of June, end of lockdown, and is less responsive via text? Try and get her on a FaceTime call. Try and get her on a FaceTime call. All right, I'm gonna scroll down to the end. You down a day game together? No. Unless you pay me. Um, how do women you talk to react when they find out you're a dating coach? I'm dating several women right now where literally the first words out of my mouth are like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a dating coach." Probably not the best thing to say right at the beginning, but you know, like that's such a shocking statement. Okay, so what you guys got to learn, and do like you're gonna learn more about this, how to do technology in my programs or whatever too. Being polarizing is fine. Okay, it's fine. What's not fine is you pretending you're someone that you're not for their appeasement. I know if I tell her I'm a dating coach, she's probably not gonna like that answer as much as if I said, "Oh, I'm a doctor," or "I'm a fucking whatever girl's a firefighter, I don't know, an astronaut." Okay, I don't know, but they're more into my attitude. Women like a guy who does what he wants despite people disapproving of him. You know, how many girls have you known where they hated a guy at first and he continued to act the way they actually acted, that continued to act the way that he acts, and won her over in the end. Like that's how it is. Anything can work, man. I could be a garbage or shit collector and I can still make that work. How important is social proof? Super important. Like, do you have to be super popular? Okay, no, you don't. You don't have to be super popular, but you have to be a well-liked person within your group. So one thing that I teach about too as well is how to use social media to create container events. You can use social media, you can use dating apps to create container events that will boost up your attractiveness a lot. It's something that I talk about in my quarantine dating program. We'll go over that as well too. So here's the link for it again. Okay, what's a good line reason to get her on the FaceTime call? Okay, yeah, let's talk a little bit about how to get a girl on that FaceTime call. So basically the way I do it is if you're going back and forth, 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 and you have her phone number, okay, I would just freaking just like call her up and see what happens. Honestly. If she doesn't pick up because she's scared, then be like, LOL, like I thought it was 50-50 if you pick up or something like that. And then you just continue from there like nothing happened. You're not really losing so much points. Okay. If you try and schedule a FaceTime call, just ask her. Literally just be like, what are you up to tomorrow? And what are you up to tomorrow evening? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool, let's FaceTime. And then if she says yes, that's cool. I think it's better to just do it in the moment while you guys are hot. That's usually more successful. Okay. Um, what if she says no to a call, says she's scared? That's normal. That's normal. That's fine. Again, you need to build up a little bit more familiarity with her, and you need to build up a little bit more the stuff that I'm talking about right here, dude. If she says no, that's fine. Just continue building up these things, and then hopefully she'll be able to get on the call. I just got turned down today, but the girl actually just messaged me. So we're probably gonna FaceTime later this week. Okay. What are your thoughts on flirting with a girl who has a boyfriend? FYI, this girl is super flirty with me. I mean, find a girl who doesn't have a boyfriend, man. Like that shit's gonna get you in trouble. It's not worth it. Like, why would you go talk to a girl who has a boyfriend when you can talk to a lot of girls who don't have boyfriends? I find that a lot of guys who are in scarcity, they ask me this question. So get yourself out of scarcity, get yourself some options, and you'll stop having that problem. I'm super into Dragon Ball Z. Is it okay to talk about that? Yes. You'd be surprised, and make a joke about it. Like, you should be making fun of yourself for liking Dragon Ball Z. Be like, oh, I just, when I was a kid, all I wanted to be was a Dragon Ball. Was a Super Saiyan. You know what a Super Saiyan is? And she's like, no. And I'm like, check this out. And you say a picture of them being Super Saiyan. She's gonna burst out laughing if she sees that. Like, I can see that being really well. What if she fakes disinterest? I'm not interested in whether she's faking or not faking. If she's disinterested, then I'm gonna talk to somebody who's more interested. How does self-improvement conflict with dating? It does not. They are one and the same. The reason why women are into the qualities that they're into is because they're trying to look for the best father of their child. They're trying to look for the guy who's going to take care of her the best, the guy who's going to give her the best life that she could have. She's also looking for genes too, which is something that you can't really control, and I can't control either too. So, but if you have the first two, that is more than enough to win over 99% of the women out there. But sometimes the qualities that they look for are wrong. Sometimes they fuck up. That's why typically women, when they get older, the qualities they look for tend to change a little bit too. And there's also theory with the fact they're getting older, they're getting more past their prime as well too. Like, there's a lot of theory behind that. Okay. What if you've been talking to a while, but she's always the one who makes contact? How do you get her to message you first? Dude, stop. You guys got to stop thinking of things like, she has to message me first. I want her to message me first. Like that want is neediness right there. That's neediness. You wanting her to message you first. That's really needy, low value behavior. Get that out of your head. Should I re-engage a girl who stopped responding? Yeah, if you like her. There's a way to do it, and I talk all about that in my quarantine game program, which I'm going to put the link to again here. Okay. Should I call her out if she starts ghosting me? No. Do not do that. That's the fastest way to lose that girl. How to handle questions about marriage and children? What specifically are you asking? Are you asking if you have kids or she has kids? I need to know that. Does the distance matter when you set up your dating app, or should we focus on short distances? So I'm putting it around like 20 miles or something like that, because like if she's down to come over, like 20 miles isn't that far. But typically I would put it, the bigger the city that you're in, the smaller my radius goes. Because I'm not, like, if I'm in New York City, I'm not going more than 2 miles to go see a girl, 2 to 3 miles. If I'm in San Francisco and she's 7 miles away, that's really far. Although I find in San Francisco, if you get girls that are outside of the city, they tend to be much better matches than girls who are inside the city. I have friends with benefits, and she says she wants to fuck me, but is afraid to get attached as she's a virgin. Any tips? Okay, that's really general. Yeah, just build more comfort with her. Will you have a replay of this video on Facebook? Yes. Yes, it won't be on Facebook, but I'll send it out as an email. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it too. All right. Is it good to be just friends first and then slowly escalate and guide the conversation after she becomes more comfortable with you? No, you want to start with attraction first. If she's attracted to you first, that's where you can start with. Now, she can be your friends, but you kind of have this kind of like playful will they, won't they thing going. I've had that for sure, where there's like a kind of a base level of flirtiness and attraction there, and then you build up comfort from there, and then you guys sleep together. But if you come in from the friend side and think that's going to build attraction, it won't. Yes, I can see this. I need to see what you're saying. All the bars and restaurants are closed in New York. I guess it would be fine to bring her over to my house. The New York governor is very strict. Yes, bring her over to your house. Yes, I have people that are doing that right now in my quarantine dating program. I'm doing that in my own life. Okay. How do you recover from saying something that turns her off? Okay, just continue going with your personality. Don't try and make up for it because then that's breeding into neediness behavior. But yeah, it's it might not be as big of a deal as you think. If she's using a fake profile, I'll text somebody else, dude. Oh Jesus. Somebody asked that question, dude. If you want to get your salad tossed, fucking ask her. How do you feel about re-engaging in convo when she hasn't responded in a few days? Yeah, that's fine. Just continue as if nothing happened. And then if she really doesn't respond for a while, you can send her a "Are you alive?" text. And if she says anything else besides "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't," blah 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 blah. If she says anything besides that, just delete her number and forget about her. In general, like I don't. If a girl's not responding to me, I just kind of forget about her. But if she's not, then you can do that. Live Tinder convo at the moment. What did you say about conversation with your lamp again? Opening line low. I basically said, how's your quarantine going? I think last night I may have just had a conversation with my lamp, and that's all you say. How's to schedule a FaceTime call if you haven't texted her for a while? She said she was at her parents but was open on Monday. Start texting her first and then work into the FaceTime call. How many texts on average should I exchange with her to get her on FaceTime / the phone? I mean, it really depends, but I would say you're probably gonna, I would say it's like FaceTime is a second day thing. Same days fast. Same days fast. Guys, we don't know how long this quarantine is going to be going on for. This quarantine could be going on for months at a time. Like you have plenty of time. So that's why this whole program is going to be going on for at least a month. It might be even going on for longer. I'm well prepared for this thing to last months on end. And if it does, I'm still going to get you guys laid. I'm still going to get you guys dates and have a dating life. She's a professed introvert. How to connect with her? Again, go by these things here. I would start by you sharing first because she's probably going to be a little bit reluctant to share some stuff herself. Okay. Should I establish? Hold on. How to move things from casual to serious relationship. If you want to move things from casual to serious relationships, start having more of these conversations. Start being more caring. Start asking about her more. Start being more affectionate. See her more. How to escape friend zone after being sexual. What do you mean after being sexual? You were sexual, or she was sexual, or she tried to be sexual? Did you try to be sexual and she didn't respond? I don't know. Okay, in the beginning you spoke about games. Can you give me some examples of games? So I'm going to be talking about all the different games that I do in my quarantine gaming program. There's going to be a list of those, but you can start with just like doing the drawing game that I talked about. Draw some like, what's your draw? You can draw like, what do you think the other person represents, and then you draw it. What do you think is the other person's favorite music? And you draw it. It's just a fun thing. You don't even have to be good at drawing to do it. You can also play video games too, like Mario Kart. How to schedule a FaceTime call if you haven't texted her for a while. She texted Friday and she was at her parents but was open to Monday. Dude, I told you, start texting her again. You want to start with text and then work your way up to a FaceTime call. What is your favorite FaceTime game to play? I like the drawing one. Honestly, I'm also going to teach you guys how to sext in the quarantine dating program. I forgot about that. I'm sexting girls all the time. I just didn't have time to cover it this time. But I like sexting. And that's just fun. I mean, I like having sex, but if I can't have sex, sexting is not bad. I'll do it over FaceTime. I do it over all that stuff. What did you say are some of your favorite quarantine lines? I thought they were very helpful. Yeah, talk about how you're getting so lonely. You're talking to your furniture. Talk about how being inside is making you going crazy. Talk about how you can make quarantine virus jokes. There's a music video that I've been sending to a bunch of girls where it's just this like rapper talking about coronavirus, and instead of him like being with a bunch of bitches, like they're all naked and twerking on him, like one of the girls he was twerking coughed and he just like shoves her away and like sprays her with Lysol. Like that video is hilarious. So I'm sending that out to a lot of different girls. All right. Yeah, how do you make her to sexting? How do you initiate sexting? I'm going to talk all about that in the quarantine dating program, you guys. So I'm going to post the link here again. So click on that and send me some money. And if you want to, yeah, send me the 500 if you want to join, and I'll get you into that Facebook group right away. Again, we're starting training as early as this week. Okay, so I want to make sure that I get as many guys as I can in there today, because I'm not going to have this offer past the weekend. Okay, so if you want to start sexting a girl, basically don't just send her a dick pic and then think it's gonna branch from there. You want to ease into it. It's like sex. You know, sex, you start with the foreplay and then you work your way in. So ask her what she's up to. Ask, and then work into like what you're doing. Then you can work into what she's wearing, and then work in like, you know, I would much rather be doing this while you're here with me. Blah, blah, blah. You start with there and then you work into the sexuality. And then when she's hot and heavy and ready to go, that's when you can start talking about explicit sexual stuff and sending photos. Okay, if a girl just wants to be just friends after hooking up, she's probably going through some shit right now. I would just agree and then just like keep things normal and casual. And then chances are she's probably going to be fine with hooking up again. But if she's not, like, you know, you're dealing with a girl with fucked up emotions and feelings, don't try and like get her out of it. Okay. Yeah, again, with the quarantine dating program, we're going to be meeting every single week. I'm going to be going over each of your profiles, and we're going to have assignments every single week during that too. Okay, this is a especially thing for being able to date and attract women from your home. Okay, if you send me the 500, I'll be able to see your email and PayPal, but make sure that you send me a message as well too, just letting me know that, hey, you know, I sent you the money. Get me added to the Facebook group. Okay, that'll help me out a little bit, but even if you don't, I can still get you added. How do you deal with girls who don't answer when you call her after she agreed to call? Yeah, that shit's gonna happen to you, man. Let's call it flake. So basically, you kind of want to laugh it off and then ask her, make sure she's okay, and then pick it up after that. But if you've tried to call her twice and she's flaked twice, find another girl. Is it okay to be blunt during the beginning stages of talking? I would not do that. That is a guy thing, and generally when people say they're being blunt, they're usually being negative. So if you're being someone if you're still being positive and you're being blunt, then you can do it. But generally, I find that when people say being blunt, they usually say being negative. Yeah, it's in the chat here. So right, send. It's called PayPal.me. So here's the link. Oh shit. Okay. So there's the link. What's the best way to let her know you're interested in more after talking for a while via text/phone? What do you mean more? Do you mean like a relationship? Okay, so yeah, if you want a relationship, show with your actions. Go by connection. Okay, so do this and take more and special care of her, and with your actions, you're going to let her know that you're really, really into her. Okay, if you come off the bat and say, hey, I want a relationship, I mean, talk is cheap, and that usually scares women away. Okay, if you're living with your parents, that's something that I had to deal with right outside of college. Yeah, you know, if your parents are cool with girls coming over, then you can do it. But in general, I'd say, especially during this time, it's probably going to be mostly over digital and online stuff. So you're probably going to have a lot of situations where you're just going to be FaceTiming the girl. Okay. If you're going out though, yeah, you can bring girls. If you have a car, you can. I banged a ton of girls in my car. I went over to a lot of different girls as well, girls' houses as well too. How do I compete with other guys who hit on her? Yeah, you just got to be better than them. You got to be a better option for her. Okay. There's another link to her. So basically, you know, you want to be okay. This thing right here, the connection side. This is really how you separate yourself, dude. It's easy to have attraction with a woman. It's easy to get that initial attraction going, but if you don't like have that initial attraction going, then it's out. But even if you do, there's still like 5 or 6 guys that she's probably talking to. There's probably like a bunch of guys that she also finds attractive. So to separate yourself from those is the connection. That's really where it's at. Okay. Will this improve my connections with people in general? Dude, absolutely, man. Like I can connect with fucking anybody. Even though I'm naturally a kind of a mean and caustic person, a lot of people like me when I speak with them. I think I'm actually a nice person. I care about people a lot. That's a big thing of mine. But once I learned how to do this, I at parties, at networking events, dude, I was able to freaking connect with pretty much anybody. This will help you in business too, man. I've made way more money since I've been able to learn how to talk to people than I did before. Okay. Text her out of the blue. Yeah, you can do that. Emojis and text, that's fine. Just don't overdo them. I generally don't use emojis, but sometimes once in a while I might. Um, do you think LDR works out? I don't know who LDR is. Um, should you text every day? A lot of girls want you to text every day. But I would say if you don't want to, then you don't have to. Okay, Simon. I don't know what you want from me, man, but just stop annoying me in the chat window, please. Where do you stand on NoFap? On NoFap, I generally think that you should do it if you are trying to if you're trying to improve yourself and go out and meet women. Yeah, do NoFap because you're killing your energy every time you jerk off. Every time you jerk off, you're killing your energy. So, like, you want more energy when you're out. During cold approach, a girl who is you're dating saw you. What will you say to her? How you? So you got caught in the act of. Hold on, Simon. You're being really annoying, dude. Can you get out of here, please? Um, hold on. Let me just kick this guy out really quick, you guys. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. He stopped messaging me right now, so let's just continue, and so I can answer you guys' questions. Um, okay, so all right, more questions, you guys. A girl you're dating saw you, but will you say to her how you act because you should date multiple women? Yeah, try not to do it. If you're hanging around a girl, try not to do it while she's there. Obviously that's pretty disrespectful, but when she's not there, feel free to do it. But in general, I just like to talk to the people that are around me. So if I'm just naturally being gregarious and social, like a lot of that stuff, works. Okay, dude, why does it keep wanting me to fucking do this? Here we go. Okay, so here's the link again, you guys. Um, what's the best way to turn a friend into a romantic interest? Play with body proximity and flirt. Okay, if she's a friend of yours already, the way you want it, you have to test it out. If you're always coming to hang out with her, like she's inviting you to things and you're meeting up with her, that's not good. But if she is, God damn it, dude. Hold on, you guys. Simon, can you please get out because you're not being respectful to the other people who are on this call that have legitimate questions, man. So I'm a little new to Zoom, so I don't know how to kick you out. All right, here we go. Okay, there we go. Finally found him. All right, he's gone. Okay. So So if you have a friend, see if she's going to come to what you're doing. Okay. Generally, I find that if people are friends with a girl and they want to turn that girl into a romantic interest, what they'll do is they'll basically like go to, if she invites them to a party, they'll show up. If she wants them to come to a lot of different events or whatever, she goes. You always go to her. If you're always going to her, it's never going to work out. You want to get her to come to what you want to do, and if she won't do that, um, basically yeah, thank you. I found that. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You basically want her to get to come to your stuff. Okay, invite her to a friend. Sorry, invite her to do something that you're doing, and if she shows up, that's good. That means she likes you. But if she won't, she wants to always you to go to her. Then she doesn't respect you as a man. She respects you as just a platonic friend. And if that's what's happening to you right now, the way you get out of the friend zone, and I teach you guys exactly how to do this, is you want to make sure that you're. So I would stop contact with her, and then improve yourself, and then usually if she kind of finds out that you're doing better, like she'll come around. Okay, here is the link again, you guys. Can you still be friends with no expectations after you hook up? What if you really value the girl as a human being? Is it good to keep her around if she adds value to your life in other ways? Yes, absolutely, dude. I do that with like I have several girls that I used to hook up with that I don't hook up anymore. And we're friends, and it's fucking great, dude. Like having somebody there that's like that's there for you, that just because you've been intimate with in the past doesn't mean that you can't get benefits from her right now. Like she hooks me up with other girls, like it's freaking great. The important thing here is open communication, making sure that she knows that you care about her, and that you care about her thoughts and feelings, and being honest with what you want. Other than bars, what are good places to talk to women? I assume good places to meet new women, not for hookups, but for relationships. Weekly activities. So I talk a lot about the different activities and a lot of my programs that you find stuff that you're good at that interests you. We'll make a list, and then from that list, we'll find weekly activities that you can do every single week to meet women. That's the best way to do it. Oh, and you can also organize your own events too. Organizing your own events is fucking clutch, man. As soon as you figure out how to do that, that's where you can get like the best girls. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate you guys being here. How do you tell if a girl is just passing the time by talking to you? Okay, if she's just passing the time, you want to get her to do something. Transfer to a phone number. Try and escalate things. If she won't give you a phone number, if she's just hey, just do my Snapchat, or she responds kind of occasionally and she's not really answering your questions, or if you go with one of these where you try to establish a connection with her and she's not really playing ball, then you're probably talking to a girl who's just not taking you seriously. How did you become a dating coach initially? So I knew a lot of the guys in RSD for a while, and I've been coaching guys for a long time. I've just only been starting my own thing for around 3 years. So I saw what the guys in RSD and a lot of the other dating coaches were doing, and I felt like I could make mine a lot better. And based off of what's happened with a lot of those companies now, I think I was very correct about that. Okay, how to escalate the conversation to a sex talk. Okay, you want to start with something that like whatever it is you're doing. Okay, so like the way I typically go into it over text, let's just talk about over text, is I'll start with something like, hey, what are you up to right now? And she'll tell me what she's up to, and then I'll tell her what I'm up to, and then she'll be like, oh, that's cool, and I'll be like, you know what I'd rather do, and then you can start from there. That's an example of what to do. That's even a little bit direct. Or you could be like, hey, I was thinking about this the other day, and she'll be like, what? So if she's playing ball with you, that's when you can go into the sexting. So the note that you put into PayPal, just give me your email. But I should have your email anyway, so it's fine. Okay. I'm 34 and go to clubs by myself a lot. Wanted to thank you for your YouTube video. It's 100% accurate. Helped me a lot. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. That's I'm not talking from not talking from nothing. Advice for teenagers. Okay, if you're a teenager, the main thing is to not judge yourself. Okay, being a teenage guy is tough. Being a teenage girl is tough. You're still figuring yourself out. Don't judge yourself because you're not a popular guy. Don't judge yourself because you're not fucking the hottest girls. A lot of times when I was a teenager, I found myself comparing myself to people in their late 20s, my age. If I compared myself as a teenager to the way I am now, I'd be depressed all the time. And unfortunately, when I was a teenager, that's what was happening. I was very depressed. So don't compare yourself to people that are a lot older than you. Learn and understand yourself. Experiment, try new things, and figure out what works for yourself. Okay. What are signs she's actually into you more than a friend? If she comes to you and hangs out with you all the time and does what you want to do, that's fucking great. Okay. The man to woman connection is the man leads and the woman follows. If she's following you, that's great. But if you're always going to her, then she just wants you as a friend or like a platonic buddy. Any books you recommending on attracting women in general? So a couple of the ones that I recommend to guys that are beginning is No More Mr. Nice Guy and Models. Those are pretty good books. Also, to any like How to Win Friends and Influence People, I think that's the best book. I think that's better than either of those. But that's more of a being social in general. Models and How to Know Where Mr. Nice Guy might be good. I mean, I could have written those books, myself. So they summarize a lot of what I do. I think I'll do some book reviews on them. There's some stuff that I'd like to add. If I do ever do a book, I'm probably going to make mine a little different. The second book is Models by Mark Manson, and the other book is No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. Okay. Is it good if she asks you to come over and hang out? Yeah. That's great. How do you feel about calling her out on shit tests in a playful manner? Okay. Don't call her out on it. Like, if you're calling people out on stuff, like basically a shit test is she's just seeing if you're going to get thrown off. The reason why I don't like to focus on shit tests is because you start to focus on them, then they start to have more of an effect on you because you're thinking about it more. I don't even register when a shit test is happening because I'm so concerned about what I'm doing that I don't even register that it's a test, but I end up passing them in general. Okay. Sunglasses on or off on Tinder. Take your sunglasses off. I mean, if you have pictures, a great picture with you wearing sunglasses, that's fine. But if you have sunglasses in all your pictures, don't do that. Okay, that question's a little too long for me, man. If you can make it shorter, I can answer. You mentioned most pickup dating advice sucks. Can you briefly talk about why they are harmful? Most pickup and dating advice tackles the surface level issues, but it doesn't go deeper than that. And a lot of times the advice that they give is from a guy who actually doesn't do well with women. And he is saying this because he banged one girl and he said this funny line and he think it works forever. I see this happening with a lot of young guys that start teaching. For me, I wanted to start teaching when I was 22 years old. Was I qualified to be a coach at age 22? Fuck no. I would have been the worst coach of all time. I would have told you the dumbest shit to do. Okay. Instead, what you should do is you should basically do whatever it is that's going to make you successful. Figure it out. Pick and choose things that work, and then work from there. But I didn't start coaching until I had slept with like 200 women or something like that. And that's I waited years till I had experience. So I had not just quick hookups, but also relationships and all that stuff. I made sure that I knew what the fuck I was talking about before I started telling anybody. And most people don't. Okay, how do you make sure that the connection continues even after the quarantine? Okay, do these things that I talk about. That is exactly why I had this meeting, is so that you can establish a connection with somebody, keep it fun and playful, keep it going during this time where we can only communicate digitally. Okay, I'm going to go more in depth on this in my quarantine dating program. So let me put that link down there again. Okay. After this quarantine is over, best idea for first dates. I like Dave and Buster's. You guys know what Dave and Buster's is? It's a big arcade room. So Dave and Buster's is fun. You can play, you can do a lot of fun activities, and then you can like have a little playful competition between you two. So you have like some playful tension. Dave and Buster's, if you can find something where you do a fun activity, those are the best dates. How do you get a girl to go out with you after the lockdown is over and you all and how do you get a girl to go out with you after the lockdown is over and you already liked each other over the phone? Okay. Yeah, so the way that you want to ask out a girl is basically figure out her schedule first, figure out a time that she's free, and come up with something super easy and casual for you guys to go to. If you make it seem like a super formal date, she's probably not going to show up. Okay, how can you learn how can you earn a girl's interest on Tinder when girl has so many options and billions of messages bombarding them? Okay, so you have to make sure your profile is good. So that's one thing that I'm going to work on in the program is making sure that your pictures are good. Make sure that you know what you're going for. Okay, and then try and find dating apps where there's not so much competition in there. So adopt apps that are more for your niche. And then also too with your messaging, try and be thoughtful and funny at the beginning. She's gonna want to go with what's fun, okay? Because she has so many options. She's just gonna go for the thing that you know the person that's making her smiling and having a good time. Okay, so be that guy first, and then establish the connection. Once you establish a connection with this girl, you just put yourself above 99% of the guys out there. Okay, how to make sure she does not flake when meeting up. So check in on her. In fact, the day before, so the morning of you see her, I would send her a message saying, hey, got to run some errands today, going to be 5 minutes late. If she's going to cancel on you, then she'll tell you then. If she says, oh, no, that's totally fine, then you're good to go. Nobody cancels a date over being 5 minutes late. Okay, what's your opinion on no porn and no fap? Should I go through it? I think you should. I think you have to ask yourself, hey, is this a problem in my life? Am I jerking off 3 or 4 times a day? And if you are, I would do no fap. The way you can start doing no fap is like instead of me jerking off, I'll do 10 push-ups. I'll have something instead to do that makes me good. So if you're doing no fap, you're going to get laid a lot more than if you don't. There's an idea, invite to watch series via Zoom or shared Netflix, as Lloyd said. Yeah, that's a good idea. How to ask is if she is with somebody. Dude, sometimes I just straight up ask a girl if she's dating somebody. I'll be like, so how's your love life going? The reason why guys don't ask this question is because they're worried that they're gonna get friend zoned, or they're worried that that's too intrusive of a question. Again, you're coming from a needy frame when you should be coming from a frame that's like, hey, I'm wondering if this girl is good for me. So get her to qualify a little bit. That's totally fine to ask that question. Um, but I would ask that question after you've been talking to her for a little bit. How do you deal with a guy or remain a friend who is cock blocking you? Okay, depends what the situation is, but generally, if a guy is able to get in between you and the girl, you're not being man's woman enough to her. Okay, I rarely get guys that try and cock block me. In fact, guys run away when I'm talking to a girl. Why? Because the girl wants to fuck me, and they know if they try to assert themselves, they're only going to be hurting themselves. What is your opinion on long distance relationships? Long distance relationships work if you have a time to meet up in the future. If you don't, if there's no set time, you're not in a relationship. What's your opinion on this Tinder opening line? Hey, Alexandra, what kind of trouble are you causing tonight? Question mark. I think it's playful and chill if there's nothing to write about from her bio. Yeah, that could be cool too. But also too, take a look at her pictures and maybe ask about one of her pictures, or use a funny quarantine dating line. Like there's the good thing about the quarantine and the coronavirus is we all have something to connect over. Okay, that's why Halloween is such a great holiday, because it's so easy to walk up and talk to people because everybody's wearing a costume. There's something that we all have in common that we start out by talking about. Okay, so I would go from there. How to tell if she is with someone while talking to her, assuming she does not say it herself. I just asked that question. I just answered that question, man. You can just ask her, dude. I would ask her, hey, how's your love life going? Or like, so it's what do you think of the guys here, or something like that. Blah, 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 blah. You can even ask, hey, are you seeing somebody? That's fine too. I would ask that question though if you've been talking to her for a little bit. If that's the first question you ask her, I don't know what context. If she's on Tinder, I mean, you probably shouldn't need to ask that question. If she's on a dating app, you definitely don't need to ask that question. What if she shows no interest but keeps following you around? Okay, if she's following you around, that's interest. Just because you haven't seen it, like, that's, or maybe she just really needs a friend. But chances are, if she's following you around, she's probably down, dude. I've had girls who literally, like, no other sign but following me around was what they showed me, and from that, they still slept with me. What is a good Hinge opener? Dude, make coronavirus jokes or talk about a profile. The good thing about Hinge is Hinge shows you a lot more about them, and it gives you some even example questions for you to ask. Do you need Instagram? Effect on social value? I don't think you need it, but I definitely think that you could. Sorry, somebody keeps sending me a message on a different app. Yeah, Instagrams, even if you don't have it, it's fine. But I teach guys how to have a better social media presence, so that way you can just get people via your digital profile. All right, I'm gonna send in. Yeah, and if you want to learn more about that, obviously, join the program, guys. Join the program, please. How to win her over if she's hooking up with a second guy? That kind of grosses me out. The girls doing that. What is your suggestion instead of no contact? Okay, so yeah, people are so addicted to no contact. No contact. Okay, if she's hooking up with a guy already, ask yourself if you really want this girl. And if the answer is still yes, then just continue going with it and pursuing her the way you normally would. And usually women don't like to hook up with two guys at the same time. Usually they only like one. I have had girls who, when girls hooking up with me, she usually doesn't go for another guy. So just make yourself the best option, and she should naturally do that. It sounds like you're not the best option right now, or this girl's got real big problems, and you probably shouldn't be seeing her in the first place. What if she gives your messages instant answer, but it's not available for a meeting? If you tried to meet up with her twice, then you got to move on, man. Like, I don't care what she's saying. The fact of the matter is, if she won't FaceTime you, she won't call you. She's just not that into you. What if she's 18? I'm 18 and she's 22. Any advice? Oh, you want to date an older woman? I mean, good luck with that, man. 18 to 22. That's actually a pretty big age gap. But just show her that you're a mature person. You know, 18-year-old guys are usually running around with their dick in their hand trying to get as fucked up as possible. Don't be that guy. Be someone that she can have deep conversations with. Be someone who's legitimately interested in her. Be someone who has cool interests of yourself. Have ambition. All of those things are better. Okay, if you both have toxic exes, is it okay to connect by discussing them? I dated a borderline, she dated a narcissist, and we share stories alike. Do you think that's okay? Not really, dude. Honestly, if you talk negatively about your previous ex, that doesn't say a whole lot of stuff about you. Now, you might connect initially on it, but later on down the line, you're going to have problems, and she's going to start to wonder, am I that toxic ex that he's going to have? Is he going to speak negatively about me? And if she's speaking really negatively about her ex, she's probably going to speak negatively about you too as well. So I would try and stay positive. Okay, what would you do if a girl just likes your message? Oh yeah, depends what kind of message you send. If you send a message without a question, but if you had a question and she just likes it and doesn't answer, then I would take that as she doesn't want to talk. How do you handle girls who claim to be busy all the time, even though she seems to be interested in you? Okay, newsflash: I don't think she's interested in you, if that's what's happening. Okay, if she is saying she's busy all the time, but she seems like she's saying, talk is cheap, dude. Talk is cheap. Actually meeting up in actions, that's not. What does it mean if she sends you a laughing emoji after reading your message but does not respond to your message? That I would say that's more of a lack of interest. If she actually takes the time to send you something, then that's better. Should you keep quiet about your exes? In general, I don't talk about them that much, but if I do, it's usually very positive. You know, I let her know that the women in my life, I don't have any ill will towards. I like them, and even though I'm not with them anymore, that's we're friends, or maybe not we're friends. I don't let them know that I'm very close to them. So, yeah, in general, I don't talk about them that much, but if I do, I'm very positive. How much does this slash webinar cost, man? This is so valuable. For a typical webinar like this, I would say if I was doing it to you privately, I don't know, man, maybe like 500 at least. But for a large group, I don't know. I've never done it for a group this large before. So yeah, speaking gigs usually cost a lot more money than this, at least 500. How much should you be ending text convos
Or her mainly. Ooh, yeah. If you're worried about that, you're probably not in the right position, man. I don't worry about whether I end the conversation or not. I'm worried about, hey, I'd like to talk to this girl, so I send her a message. Um, I don't think either one is means she's really into you or you're really not into you. If you're always the one to end and then she doesn't respond and then you reinitiate and then she like you're sending two messages every time, like double texting, yeah, it's probably not good. Thanks, man. I try to be try to be nice. Can you take social proof like pictures on Insta and dating apps despite this corona crisis? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm busting out throwback pictures that I don't have time to post all this month, so this is giving me a good time to catch up. Absolutely. Um, oh, do you mean currently, like if you're hanging out with people? You can post it if it's like just you and a couple buddies, or you and a friend or two. That's fine. But if you're at a big event, like I don't even know if if that's possible. Um, Yeah, of course, man. How do you show your hobbies without being arrogant? Okay, so I did a video on kind of how to show that you have a cool life without seeming try hard. So I would recommend that you take a look at that video. But that's also something that I talk about in this program, basically using social media to kind of elicit things. Now, you don't want to be explicit about things. Like if you have to tell her, oh, we ate this expensive dinner, and then I hung out with this really famous person, blah 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 blah. Like, dude, that's she can tell you're being try hard. If a girl asks me where I've been, I'll just be like, yeah, I had a seminar today. It went really well. And then I just ask, and then I'm like, so how did your day go? I changed the subject. But now she's curious. Now she's like, huh, I wonder what that seminar was about. Blah blah blah. That stuff is a lot better. If you get her curious and she finds out by herself, so much more better than if you explicitly told her that you're fucking rich or awesome or whatever. Any movies you would recommend guys watch to build up confidence? Okay. Ooh, ooh, that's a good topic. There's a movie that is like kind of like the romantic comedy for guys that pretty much every dating coach has seen. It's called Swingers. You know John Favreau? John Favreau wrote, directed, and starred in this movie called Swingers, and it's got Vince Vaughn. I think this is Vince Vaughn's best movie. I would watch that movie. Try and be like Vince Vaughn. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Can you somehow make use of her having pets? Yeah, I'd say, hey, just give me a picture of your dog or something like that. That's an easy. Dogs and pets are usually an easy way to kind of stimulate social interaction. They're very good. Oh, dude, and I forgot to tell you, if you guys have a dog pic and you put it in your dating profile, it universally helps. I hate that it works, but it fucking does. So just don't blame the player, blame the game. Okay. How do you get around physical disabilities? It depends what kind of physical disabilities you have. I find I've worked with guys with many physical disabilities like autism, speech impediments. So yeah, you can get around them, but it depends on what physical disability. Again, guys, here's the link. I'm just going to put it down here. Okay. If a girl talks to you every day and you talk for hours on the phone, being that we can't go do things to see if she'll do what I like to do outside the house, recommendations on finding out if she likes you more than a friend. Hold on, I'm trying to read this question so I can answer it. No, you want to take the picture with your dog. Take the picture with your dog. Brandon, I don't understand your question. Can you reword it for me? Um, Where are you from? So originally I'm from the Bay Area, San Francisco, which is a pretty tough place for dating because there's way more guys than girls. But right now I don't really have a home and I'm just staying here temporarily while this quarantine's happening. And so I'm staying at an Airbnb here in the city. But eventually I'll probably move to South America, Medellin. Originally I was living in Miami for a little bit, just for a couple weeks. And yeah, I don't really have a home right now. I'm a digital nomad, so I bounce around for wherever the work is. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna keep talking until there's only like 50 people left, or there's only like a few people left. Keep answering your guys' questions, or until 2:30. Okay. How do I work on my face gestures to look better? Like honestly, I just looked at myself in the mirror. I practiced taking selfies, found out what face gestures worked and what don't. I find that when I laugh, my if I laugh really hard, my left eye shuts. I go like this, and I look kind of weird. So I've kind of worked on that a little bit. I still do it, and some girls say it's cute, but you might notice certain things that you're doing that don't look too good. But yeah, usually if you have a positive vibe, I would say that it doesn't really matter so much what your face looks like. Is it good to talk about the relationship per se and what you want to do with her in the future? Yes, it's okay to do that, but not right at the beginning. At first, you're getting to know her first. Get to know her and establish the fact that you guys like each other, that you have a connection first. Then, once that's happened, when you've met up a few times, then I would talk about your future plans. If you lay things right off the bat really quick, that tends to scare people away because usually you're not going to get someone with exactly the same plans as you. You guys are going to have to negotiate a little bit. That's part of a relationship, but make sure there's a connection there first. 10 Things I Hate About You with Heath Ledger was good. Yeah, Crazy Stupid Love is good as well. The one with Ryan Gosling. Hitch is all right. Um, yeah, I do. I speak Spanish. I'm not quite fluent yet, but I can speak and understand. And I've dated dozens of women who only speak Spanish, so I'm pretty good at that. Hey Lloyd, is that a Google Pixel? Your phone? Yes, I do have a Google Pixel. I bought it because it has the highest rated camera on it. How not to be over playful, meaning when it comes to joking too jokingly. So yeah, if you've been joking for a while and you keep the joke going, like if it's been the way you figure out if it's gone for too long is if she stops playing. Okay, if she stopped playing, then just transfer it into a normal conversation. Usually, if I've been making a joke for a little bit, 3 to 4 lines is fine, and then I'll be like, "So, how's your day going? So, what's up with you today? How you been?" Just transfer it into like that. Okay. Hey Lloyd, is Google Pixel? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What are some quick photo tips we can use right now? Sunlight works freaking phenomenal. I have professional lighting. I don't know if you guys can't see, but I have professional lighting here. Sunlight works the best. Make sure the sunlight is coming on you this way. If the sun is behind you, you're gonna look like shit, and people won't be able to see you. Also, hold the camera at eye level. If you hold it down too low, that's too low. If you saw in my picture examples, I was holding the camera right around my belly button. That's too low. Hold it around eye level. Too high is a little bit better, but around here is the best. Again, we're going to go over exactly this in my private, sorry, in my quarantine dating program. There's the link again. Is there any video in the past you've made that you could change or reiterate a point or advice on? Yeah, I mean, there's tons. Thoughts on super indirect style versus direct. Okay, so I generally be indirect. So when I walk up and talk to somebody, I'm not thinking, "Hey, you're cute. I want to talk to you." Sometimes I'll say that, but in general, I'm just having a conversation with a person. I'm not saying, "Hey, my mission is to get this person's phone number." My mission first is to see if this chick is cool. There's a lot of girls who are not cool. And guess what? If I walk up to her and she's a bitch, or she doesn't want to talk, or she ignores me, that girl's not cool. And if you think about it, thinking about it in this way prevents you from really getting rejected. And that's really how it is, dude. You don't know if this girl could be in the middle of something. She could be doing late to a meeting or whatever it is, and it's not your fault. So you really have to see if she's available to talk and if she's cool. You go by that first, and then after that, see if you can come in. So yeah, that's more of an indirect approach too. Okay. I find myself interested, in really serious topics, how to become more playful and lighthearted. So it's a skill. It's a skill. I talk about my work a lot, and if you're a very serious person, learning how you can be serious but also be fun at the same time. Now, I don't know if I can give you some specific examples. I mean, dude, we're going to be going over these in the program. So if you want more information about that and want to get good at this, I highly recommend that you join. But for the moment, start thinking about ways that you can, if the person is going to be like, interesting, or if the person's going to feel judged, if the person's going to feel insecure or uncomfortable, then I probably wouldn't say it. And try and take things in a way that's like if you're asking a person like what they do or what they're passionate about, I generally like to exaggerate a little bit and smile, I laugh, and then I give really good eye contact or relaxed eye contact. You can be very serious and be like this, but if you're frowning, because I have a resting bitch face, so that's one thing I have to work on too. And then you add a serious conversation to it. A lot of times people can feel a little bit uncomfortable. So yeah, I would recommend on that. But I would love to be able to give you more specific examples. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that if you join the program. I have not heard of Azar. I don't know what that is. You said to see if she likes you, see if she's willing to do the things that you want to do, being that we can't go anywhere and do things together due to the quarantine. What are other ways to see if she's into you more than a friend? If she's willing to have these conversations with you, she's willing to take the time to answer those messages, get on the phone with you as well too, to FaceTime, send you pictures, doing those kinds of things. That's her following you. But if she's not willing to do that and she just kind of is, occasionally she'll send you an LOL when you text her, she's not into you. Okay, if she texts pretty late, wait, hold on. I missed some stuff. If she texts pretty late, 1 to 3 a.m., aside if she's busy / bored or talking to other dudes. I guess you got to stay up later if you want to talk to her. But if she's only texting you during that period of time, she's probably fucking bored. I would talk to another girl. Top 5 books. So I said a couple. Models by Mark Manson. How to No More Mr. Nice Guy. Oh, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate it. No More Mr. Nice Guy. How to Win Friends and Influence People is good. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's 4. The last one that I would mention. What would be the last one? You know what's a good one? The Way of Men. The Way of Men by Jack Donovan. That book is on masculinity, and it's on how to be a man. It has nothing to do with women. It's completely separate from it. But I think once you read that book, you guys are going to start feeling a lot more masculine and know what it is to be a man. And as a result, you're going to be more attracted to women. Okay. See you, man. Okay. Did you cancel your other program you were going to make? So I had a product coming out. I'm probably going to postpone that until the quarantine is over because it's on approaching and we can't do that right now. But the mastermind that I had is also going to be pushed to a further 8 weeks. So whoever was in the mastermind is automatically going to be in the quarantine dating program. But they've already paid, me for everything. So they're good to go. But if you're not in either of those programs, then, you get in the quarantine dating program. And if you want to get my mastermind as well too, you just pay me whatever the difference is and you'll be in that as well too. So that's more of in-person stuff. Okay. Is it bad to blush when talking to a girl? No, that's actually super cute. If you rock that shit and you're confident about it, you're like, damn. Oh, Way of the Superior Man is a great book. Love that book too. Good one, Brandon. Women actually think that's really, think that's really cute. If you're confident about it, if you're ashamed and you blush, if you're like, oh, sorry, you're making me really nervous. Like, you're just so pretty. Like, she'll probably love that. What to do for her? I don't. So can you ask that question again, Pedro? I don't know what you're saying. Should you avoid giving away too much personal information before meeting / FaceTime? It depends what she's comfortable with. If she says, how are you? And then you just talk about your whole life story, that's too much. But generally, I answer the question, but keep a little bit in my back pocket. So like if somebody asks me what I do, I usually just say I'm like a self-development coach. And then I kind of leave it at that. And then I leave. And then later on, she finds out that I'm a dating coach. And like slowly but surely, like she discovers all that stuff. I like it better when she finds it out herself. Yeah, own it, dude. Thanks, David. Okay, you want her to answer you quicker. Basically, it comes down. So I find that a couple things that you can do to make her answer quicker is if your messages are super fucking long, she's gonna take a long time to respond. Because like if a girl sends me like 2 paragraphs, I'm probably not gonna respond until later that night if I do respond, because it takes me a lot of time for me to interrupt my day and do that. It's a lot of effort. So send short, quick messages. Hey, how you doing? Check out what I did today, and then picture, and then that's a message that she'll probably respond to pretty quickly. But if you say, hey, this happened to me today, long essay about whatever it is, probably not going to respond super quickly. Should you be texting a girl every day? Is it okay if the convo fizzles out? So it's natural for the conversation to not be as to die down a little bit. That's fine. But what's not fine is for you to just completely let it go. So I talk a lot about how to prevent the conversation from fizzling out, and you're always discovering new things about the person. You're always there. So a person is not just, oh, this person's a doctor, I've known everything I need to know about them. No, you're even in a marriage, even in a relationship, you're always learning things. So I would always encourage you to be curious about that sort of stuff. Establish this connection, get her on a FaceTime call, learn how to have fun, learn how to play games over technology, and a lot of that stuff will help. Okay. For all introvert guys out there, the book, yeah, that's good. Do you think visualizing going through approaches this is a good idea? Yes. Yes, this is the perfect time to visualize your approaching and visualize things going wrong, but visualize yourself handling the things that are going wrong perfectly. So what I used to do is I used to picture myself walking up and talking to the girl and picturing her friends coming and interrupting me, picturing like maybe a cop happening, or maybe there's like some homeless dude that's bothering us. The typical things that I would encounter when I was in San Francisco that would be an issue for me or an objection for me. I would picture myself handling those perfectly. So when I walked up to her, I wasn't thrown off by anything. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's take a look at these new messages. So we should use texting to set definite dates. Otherwise, girls don't want to meet because there would be nothing to talk if we were texting all the time. What do you think? No, there's always stuff to talk about, dude. You can always learn more about that person. You can ask her what she did that day. You can ask her what her plans are for the future. You can ask her what her favorite place to travel would be. You can ask her kind of what her family's like or what she was like in high school. There's so many questions to ask a person. Once you start being more interested in other people and really like getting to know them, a lot of this is going to seem a lot easier. What's your view on voice recordings? I do them a lot. Okay, the more information you give about it, so this is usually the progression. So if you can imagine the progression to get her out on a date, especially during quarantine, it's going to be something like this. It's going to be first you match, then you message, then you get her on a phone number. You get her phone number or WhatsApp or whatever. Then from there, you start sending her voice messages, which you can do on WhatsApp. Then after voice messages, you send her some selfies, maybe some videos. Then after the videos, you go to FaceTime. Then after you FaceTime a couple times, now it's time for real time. Something like that. Slow progression. Okay? Ramping it up. It's the best webinar I've ever attended. that's what I'm trying to make it, dude. And yeah, guys, if you got a lot out of this and you want personal help from me, here's the link. Sending it again. Would love to have you. Okay, how can you lead into that picture game without seeming awkward or sudden? Just sending a picture to somebody that's funny. Okay, I think you're worrying a little bit too much about what the other girl thinks. What you want to do is you want to say something like, "I think this would be fun," and then I send it to her. I think this would be hilarious. Women, when they like a guy, they want to follow. So when you're constantly thinking about, hey, what is she gonna like? What is she gonna think that's funny? That's not the natural attraction. It makes her feel uncomfortable because women don't know what they want, but they know it when they see it. So if you show her and do it and be a little bit polarizing and not worried if she reacts negatively to it, then you're gonna be a lot more successful, man. Okay. How do I get to work with you? I see myself working with a dating coach in the next few years. So send me a message. Fill out. There's a coaching application form. I would love to have you in this quarantine dating program, man. This is a great place to start. So this is the lowest tier program that I have right now. I don't have anything cheaper at the moment, unless when I come out with my product in a few months. This is the lowest tier thing. This is the best time to work with me ever. So I would encourage you to do it now. But if in the future you want to do it, then yeah, send me a message, and my prices will probably be a little higher at that time. Well, not a little, they'll probably be higher. As the demand for my coaching increases, the prices increase too. So just send me a message. the whole match her messaging style, like if she takes an hour to respond, then you take an hour to message back. Do you agree with that? No, I don't. Again, you're playing into her game. So if she's taking a super long time to message back, and then you're like, oh, well, I should take a long time to message back too. Yeah, I generally think that you're both gonna end up single at the end of this. So respond when you can. Respond when you can. Now, if like she likes to send longer messages as opposed to shorter ones, then yeah, match her up a little bit in that realm. But if you're just taking a long time because you want to seem cool, then that's going to be a nightmare. That's going to be a nightmare. Don't try and seem higher value by not messaging her. No problem, man. Should I conceal from a girl that one of my hobbies is playing video games? No, that's fine, dude. Don't brag about it. It's something to brag about. But yeah, playing video games is pretty normal. You'd be surprised. A lot of women play video games too now. So the way you talk about it is you either make it a joke. It's just something fun and silly that they do. You think women don't waste time watching fucking The Bachelor or some stupid retarded shows that are not benefiting them at all as people? No, they do. They do dumb shit all the time too. So this is your dumb shit activity. So everybody has those. How do I? Yeah. Oh, so you shoot and edit videos. Okay. Yeah, if you want to hit me up, I'm looking for a videographer in the future, but I'm talking to a bunch of guys right now, and I probably won't. I probably won't want one until June or July. That's probably when I'm gonna get one. What else? Let's see here. How long is too long to respond to a girl? Sometimes I've taken 2 days to respond because I got a lot going on. If you take 2 days to respond, you should probably say, hey, I was really, really busy, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, try and respond as quickly as you can. I mean, that's my biggest problem right now. That's the biggest thing preventing me from getting laid is how busy I am. So if you can just find a time or maybe pick a half an hour every single day where you just respond to a bunch of messages, I would do that too. Because if you're constantly interrupting your productivity, getting messages, that can affect your life and stuff. So I for me, because I'm texting so many people right now, I block off time from 7 to 9, or sorry, even less than that. I block off from 8:30 to 9. That's when I'm messaging girls. That's the most. 9 p.m. is the best time to text girls right now. That's when they're all on their phones. For relationships, what do you feel are the best dating apps? So I think Coffee Meets Bagel is good. I think eHarmony is good. I think Match.com is good. Okay, Cupid's kind of whatever. Hinge, I notice a lot of girls on Hinge are looking for boyfriends as well too. So all of those apps are good, but find one that's right for you. Whatever you feel like you're gonna find the girl that you like the most, pick that app. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The car you daily, yeah. What should I do if she is teasing me? Tease her back. Tease her back. I love it when girls tease me. It's my favorite thing. Should you really try to end phone calls / FaceTime first? I don't think it really matters. I mean, I try and I guess if you want to be paranoid about that, yeah, sure, it's usually a little bit better if you end it, but it doesn't really matter. This is what I would do. Try this. When you're on a FaceTime call, try and keep it to around 15 to 20 minutes, no longer. Maybe even less. Talk to her for a little bit, maybe even 5 minutes, dude. Okay. 5 minutes, it's going really, really well. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm getting a call right now. Let me call you back. And then you get a call back and then you don't call her back. And then just message her the next day. Hey, it was really good talking to you, blah, 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 whatever. If I'm really into a girl now, should I go out for others even though I don't feel it? I say yes, and here's why. I don't know you. If this is someone that you feel like there's a real connection with and you guys are clicking, then I would say no. But I would say that if you're in scarcity, which I'm guessing you probably are, I would recommend you talking to a couple other girls because the girl you're talking to is a lot less special than you think. And you having these other girls will actually weed out a lot of the non-neediness stuff that you're going to be doing with her anyway. But if you really can't do it, then just try not to get too attached to her until later on down the line. I don't really get attached to a girl until she's proven herself to me. and usually she's the one that's already super into me before. I think this is my personal opinion about relationships. I think the girl's got to love the guy first. That's just me. If you fall in love with her first, uh, that can be tough. That can be tough. It does work though. I've made it work before, but in general, I'd say more often you should fall in love with you first. Been on around 50 dates in the past 2 years, can never get a second date. What's the most common things I could be doing wrong? Okay, I've worked with so many students who have this. Dude, like if you can get into my quarantine dating program, I can probably look at your messages and tell you exactly what the fuck you're doing wrong. Because I've had several guys with this problem. And by the end of it, I fixed this guy within a month. He was getting this guy was a male model who had so many freaking dates, first dates, never got a second one. He would have sex with a lot of these girls in the first dates too. Couldn't get a second date. 1 month in my program, got a girlfriend. Okay, I would actually recommend that you stay in the program longer. Like, he ended up breaking up with that girl, and then he had to come back. So typically, you're scaring them off. You're scaring them off by doing a lot of different things. Okay, I've had a lot of different guys who. I had another guy too. Another example that I think of. He had 30 first dates on Hinge. Couldn't get a second date. One meeting with me, dude. One meeting with me, we were able to figure out the problem. And that weekend, he brought 2 girls home, had sex with them, and then he dated one of those girls for months after that. Okay. Okay. Can the car you drive affect your results? The car you drive matters to women, but it matters as much. It matters about as much as like whether you're wearing a Rolex watch or not. Okay. Women don't really give that much a fuck about watches. Okay, but they care about it a little bit, and they care about it as much as they care about the car you drive. Okay, just make sure your car's clean and not fucking filthy and dilapidated. If you're driving a Honda Accord versus versus a Mercedes, doesn't matter. How to punish a girl if she disrespected you? The fact that you're saying you should punish her means that you're probably in a bad spot. Okay, you do not need to punish a girl. You should, if she's disrespecting you, go and talk to somebody else. That's the punishment. Do you think a girl is interested if a guy works out, has good clothes, etc.? I mean, she might be. Yeah, those are all really attractive things. But the way you know if she's interested in you, she's kind of like following you around. She's showing you a lot of the stuff that I talk about in my programs. She's playing ball with you when you're doing this. Yeah, those things really help. Okay. Does telling a girl she's beautiful or calling or commenting about how attractive she often is to you once in a good practice doesn't mean okay. Didn't mean to put calling in the same sentence. Yeah, I was confused about that. Yeah, I would only do it once, and I wouldn't do it right off the bat. If I'm complimenting women, I usually compliment them rather than me walking up and like, "Damn, you look really hot," or like, "Wow, you have really gorgeous eyes." You know, sometimes you can get away with that if you can tell she's a little bit insecure. So, like, she would find that endearing. But I would say in general, a really good compliment would be like, "Wow, you sound like maybe she's if it's over text, you could be like, "Wow, I really like the way you put that. You seem like a very thoughtful person." Or, "Hey, I really like the way that you talked to that guy when you ordered your drink. You seem like you seem really like a caring person." Like those compliments make a world of difference than just saying you have pretty eyes or like, "Wow, I think you're really attractive." Um, if you really got to go for one and you can't think of anything, just be like, "Wow, I really like your sense of style. The way you carry yourself is really great." But even that's a little bit generic. Is it okay to be silly or act more serious and manly? Okay, being silly is totally fine. Just because you're silly doesn't mean you're not masculine. Okay, but build attraction first. Build attraction first, and then, well, not build attraction first. As long as you're building up attraction, that's fine. Honestly, being silly and being stupid can be attractive in itself because you're being bold, you're doing things that maybe some people might judge you for, but you're owning it. That is attractive, and that's polarizing, and that's what a lot of women are looking for. Okay, I know you have mentioned this before, but what are the most common examples of needy behavior that you say holds a guy back from getting the girl that he wants? Okay, you're playing into her game. That's really what neediness comes down to, is like you need her so badly that you're willing to sacrifice who you are to be with her. Women don't want that because that is a very negative. Nobody wants to be with a guy who's gonna just change himself for it, because she doesn't know you. Like, she wants to be you that way, that when you are in a relationship, it's gonna come out. So that will let her know if it's going to work out with you. But guys who do that, they tend to not be able to stand up for themselves very well. They tend to not be able to protect the girl if she needs it. And generally, they're not going to be very successful. So the way you kind of weed out neediness is by doing the stuff that you want and inviting people into that. Okay, rather than you becoming somebody else or something else to try and get a girl. Okay. Emotional relevance. I don't know if there was a question there, but yeah, I don't know what that means. How much time has passed for a girl breakup before being good relationship material again? I don't know. It depends on the girl. It depends on the girl. It depends on the way they broke up. I know girls who have like, oh, I can't move on from my relationship. It's been, I just broke up with my boyfriend. And I'm like, how long has it been? She's like, it's been 8 months. I'm like, it's been 8 fucking months and you haven't moved on, girl? Like, oh God, I do not want to talk to you. But some women who, if they broke up with a guy who was a complete pussy, they're ready to get another guy like yesterday. It really depends. How'd you recover from a needy text you sent her? Okay, I don't know what text you sent. It really depends on the text, but I would just continue doing your own thing and don't get thrown off by it. Okay. What if she example of a needy text? Hey, you there? Or like sending a question mark after you've sent another message. Needy. What if she doesn't want to call it a date? Yeah, it's fine, dude. Yeah, don't call it dates, dude. Women don't like dates. Women get nervous before dates. Call it a hangout. Call it a meetup. Call it just a casual encounter or whatever. Yeah. I'm gonna send out this recording later today. Cool. All right, you guys. So it's past 2:35. So I'm gonna take 2 more questions and that's it. The Q&A is gonna be included in it too. What was an event memory which changed your view the most? I mean, there's so many down the line, but I think a big shift in the way I started approaching things was I was always like into the pickup stuff when I was first going out. And when I realized that I couldn't get as hot at girls or as quality girls as I wanted to by just cold approach, you can once in a while, but it's just so much better if you know how to kind of set up your life and cultivate things and really start leading people. And I teach a lot about how to do that in my programs now, in addition to the cold approach and usual, like, how to walk up with, nothing, no agenda and everything, and just be able to attract a woman. I saw a few guys that were doing a lot less effort than me and getting, they weren't necessarily getting as many girls as I was getting, but the girls that they were getting were higher quality. And so I started to emulate them, and I started to get, what they got to with a lot less of the effort. So like the way I am right now, I get laid. I sleep with, slightly less women than I did before. Maybe not slightly less women than I did before, but I get much higher quality women. And my life is just overall way better because I don't even really exert myself that much. I'm already doing cool stuff anyway. Will you be doing similar webinars alongside this one? I don't know what I'm going to be doing the next one on this. I might do one in the future, but this was kind of a one-time thing for the coronavirus and the quarantine thing. And I also wanted to promote my new program, the quarantine dating program, because I feel like guys are going to get a lot out of it. How long will the $500 discount be? Because I don't have funds today, but will in a couple of days. So send me a message on email, and then we'll try and work something out. But I was only planning on making this available for today. But if there's a payment issue or something like that, just send me a message if you want to get it on the program, and we'll make sure you get it. You can usually accommodate people, whatever their financial situation is, as long as you pay. All right, last question. Best way to make a girl see you as a sexual being when you're naturally shy? Okay, women get turned on by men being themselves and polarized. So when they say girls say be yourself, like that pisses a lot of guys off. And it used to piss me off too, and still kind of does because they just don't know what they're saying. But they want you to be your best self, unapologetically you. And what that means is doing things regardless of whether people are going to be into it or not. She might not like it at the beginning, but then she keeps seeing you do it. She's like, damn, like this guy's owning it, you know? Owning yourself as a sexual being too is flirting without apologies, touching her as well too without apologies. Now you're not being creepy and, oh, I hope this makes her turned on. No, you're doing it for you because that's what you want to do. Women are very, very drawn to that sort of stuff. Cool. It's definitely a skill. It's something that I talk about all the time in my videos and programs as well too. But that's a quick answer that I can give you. Okay, cool. Yo guys, thank you so much for attending this webinar. I've been talking to you guys for 1 hour and 40 minutes. So, sorry, no, 2 hours and 40 minutes. So it's time for me to get back to my life, even though this pretty much is my life, this business. But yeah, if you guys want to get access to the recording, I'm going to be sending that out later. Again, here's the link to the program. If you guys want to join, I would love to see you guys there. I'm going to be starting meetings this week. So send me a message if you want to know more information about it too. Maybe you have some payment issues, and we'll talk. Thanks a lot, you guys. Take care.